Okay, should be live now. The stream is starting up. Let's give it a moment for it to come up.
All right.
And I'm just gonna send this link. Okay. All right. People are gonna slowly come into the process. So for those that are not familiar with the PogoRaids Discord, the link to the Discord is there in case you want to join. But basically, the Discord started off as for those that were interested in doing raids and doing these like solos, duos, time trials, and it advanced to many different things. And as part of their raid challenges process, as tier 3s got easier, what they did was they started, instead of like just trying to like, you know, use 6 unique, or I'm sure you've seen like 54 unique across the 6 ones, they basically did a draft process where they had to like draft Pokemon to go ahead and defeat the current list of tier 3s in the fastest time. They got different scores. And then when PvP came out, a lot of their members were interested in PvP. And because they were doing a lot of raid challenges, they also had like a lot of maxed out Pokemon, so they were also interested in Master League. So they combine like all those things together to form the draft format for Great, Ultra, and Masters. And we did the Master League draft this morning, and today I'm joined by ValorAsh to talk about the Great League draft process. And this is the counter division, and basically this is made up of their 10 previous winners / strong performers in their previous season of drafting. So these are all people that have performed really well and won a lot of their previous matches. So we're going the best of the best, which I always find really interesting. You had a similar experience to that when you went to Ultimate Showdown. How is it actually battling where there's basically no easy matches?
Well, your techniques, you kind of adapt because you know that the players are experienced. You're not really going to catch them off guard with anything. So you definitely have to adapt to that. And then these are probably also people that have fought against each other before.
Mm-hmm.
So you can't always like play to your play style, if that makes sense. You can't play predictably.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So you're going to look to throw off your opponent. So you've done a few drafts in your PvP career. What do you think? What are some of are there any like rules of thumb that you like to follow? Any advice that you like to give these drafters?
Typically, in the first rounds, or at least the first 2 rounds, I try and make a core. You know, like the DD Umbreon core or Tropius Reggie Steele. I'll try and at least get a core going for my first 2, and then build around that.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And then later on, look to support and develop out your team. So they've already started drafting, so we can already start taking a look. So OK then 2 has the first pick. What would your first pick be in a draft?
Oh man, I like probably Sableye or Golbat. Something with a little bit of flexibility as a lead. I typically don't start from like high up in their rankings.
Okay, all right, interesting. Sableye or Golbat. Okay, yeah. So OK then 2, who selected first? Selected probably like, you know, one of the, I would say top. There's probably like 3 or 4 favorites like Altaria, Azumarill, Reggie Steele, or DD. Maybe a little bit less now after the Psycho Boost nerf, but it's definitely still high up. And OK then 2 actually selected Azumarill with the first pick. What do you think of Azumarill as the number 1 overall pick in a draft?
I absolutely 100% agree with that. That's like the staple pick of the Great League. And if you look at like the rankings on PvPoke, it like counters most of the other top picks. So
yeah, no, absolutely.
If there's any meta-defining Pokemon in Great League, it's got to be Azumarill.
Yeah, Azumarill is probably the hardest Pokemon to replace. Like I think there are Pokemon like, you know, Reggie Steele, Altaria. They certainly have side grades that are sometimes better than them, but there's no and we've seen that in when we saw regionals and in season 1 championship. It's like one of the most popular Pokemon that are always selected when it comes to restricted format.
Absolutely.
So at number 2, this is Blasting Turtle, selected Altaria. Okay, so what do you think of Altaria as the number 2 pick?
Altaria, the original OGs of the Great League.
I know.
I'm not surprised to see them go first.
You know, the thing is, like, Altaria kind of took a little fall, like during season 1 regionals. Almost no one selected Altaria because they were scared. We just came off Kingdom Cup. We saw that Altaria was farmed down by Bastiodon. Obviously, it gets walled by Azumarill. But after regionals, like when surprisingly, I guess when Charmers came out, even though I should have deterred it, and then when Swampert came out, we saw Altaria come to the rise, and we saw in season 1 championship in Europe where they were able to Raging Taz was able to use Altaria really effectively and was showed really how great the Pokemon is. So sometimes we like go through these shifts because of cups or certain metas that we experience, and certain Pokemon fall over favored or under favored, but Altaria certainly one of the best Pokemon. Number 3 from Master Tatya, Skarmory. So it's other flyer brethren. How do you compare and contrast Skarmory versus Altaria?
Skarmory is a little bit better on the resistances, a little bit more consistent because it doesn't have that double ice weakness.
Yeah.
With 10 resistances and only 2 weaknesses to fire, which is basically non-existent except for AWAC and maybe Charizard, and then electric. It's usually very, very, very consistent. Only truly walled by like Bastiodon, and has a better matchup against Reggie Steele than you would think.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And with that flash cannon, can still do a lot of damage to Bastiodon. Like a Bastiodon can't just smack it down like it can against Altaria. So that's certainly a consideration. And you definitely trade off the weaknesses. They cover very similar. They do very similar things, like cover the grass. They're great overall Pokemon, decent bulk. But it's interesting to see, like, when it comes to their weaknesses, they're slightly different. Obviously, Steel typing, resisting Charm, but in Altaria, taking neutral damage with Electric, and then resisting Fire. So both really great flyers. And I would say the meta, the best type in Great League is Flying, and these two are a huge reason why they're so amazing. And number 4, we have Reggie Steele. So
not surprised.
Tell the audience.
Actually, I'm almost surprised that it wasn't picked first.
Yeah,
it's so extremely dominant.
Yeah,
I mean, it's mono steel typing. It means that it doesn't have any double weaknesses like Bastiodon.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't have that double weakness to ground or fighting, and then it's also incredibly bulky. Like it tanks a close combat from Gallade, which is just borderline not okay.
Yeah, that was absolutely nuts. I think you and I did like I can't remember, it was like a freestyle matchup or something. Anyways, and you had a guy laid in the back and you close combat me, and I was like, oh, I think I'm going to survive this. And it did like a sizable chunk, but you would think like Gallade, pretty attack weighted Pokemon, close combat,
right?
Like
with
huge
huge nuke. No,
it's kind of nuts. So it's kind of cool to see there. So some like pretty standard picks, and I think we're going to see in the first 2 rounds pretty standard ones. At number 5, we have Grass. He gave me permission not to say the other version of his name. He selected Tropius. What do you think of Tropius at number 4?
The third great flyer of Great League.
Yeah, I know. It's very bulky. Yeah, and they're allowed to TM in between rounds. So like you can run not in between battles, but in between rounds. Between different opponents, they can TM. So you have access to Air Slash, you have access to Razor Leaf. And I find like Air Slash really picked up steam, maybe like in...
just after Tempest, I feel like.
Just after Tempest. I didn't see that many people run Air Slash in regionals, Season 1 regionals. Maybe like a little bit more of an uncommon pick, but I think like looking back on it, if we were to redo it now, we definitely see it as one Pokemon that maybe we didn't value as much in the more open format because we were like so like trained in our mind that it's gonna get farmed by Skarmory. So again, like as these cups like kind of like shift our minds, and then as we see the viability, because like Air Slash Tropius is amazing. Like even Razor Leaf is awesome as well, right? And so certainly it's interesting to see how different metas like kind of skew our opinions, both like more positively and more negatively to certain Pokemon. At number, I think this is the first, I would say, surprise pick at number 6. Segley Yuka Pista, right? Selected Alolan Marowak.
AWAC has made his way into the upper echelons of the tiering. And then that I would say, strictly because of the prominence of Registeel, it makes for a very, very excellent Registeel counter.
Yeah, absolutely.
Double resisting most of its moves and single resisting the flash cannon. It has a lot of viability, especially now with Fire Spin.
Yeah,
it's one of the few viable fire attackers.
Yeah, for sure. And it has like decent bulk. It's not tanky, but it can definitely take a hit. And it has access to Fire Spin and Hex, so it gives you a little bit more flexibility. In terms of moveset, it has a great bait move in terms of energy, how much energy it costs. And that Shadow Ball nuke is always deadly.
Or Fire Blast.
Or Fire Blast. yeah, for sure. So like some pretty a very interesting pick. Maybe I wouldn't necessarily select it this early because I think it has like good matchups against like Registeel, for example, but I'm not sure great matchups against like overall general meta. Like it's like a lot of the first 5 Pokemon you can pretty much use on your team of 3 against almost any team of 6 because it's unlikely that they have multiple counters, or even when they're countered they can still do a lot of damage, but still a very solid pick. We see the next Pokemon. This is a very interesting Pokemon. I'm very interested in seeing how this is going to perform when they actually do the battles. Hitmontop. What do you think of Hitmontop?
It's in close combat.
It's rated very high on PvPoke. I think it's like actually within the top 10 on PvPoke. I think it's the highest ranked fighter. It's something that a Pokemon, I would say like Pokemon get better when like a lot of people play in a meta, because then we get like a better understanding of like what it can tank, like how its switch in value is, etc., etc. But Hitmontop, a very new. It's always been around, but because of the buff to close combat, it certainly made it more viable. What do you think about it as a first round pick?
As a first round pick, I don't know. I think we'll be able to get to see it shine a little bit more being a first round pick. It doesn't have much play because its cheapest move is close combat, and then the other move is Stone Edge. So it's very predictable in the way that it plays, but it's very, very consistent compared to the other fighters.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
It's got a decent amount of bulk on it.
Yeah, for sure. I think this one is it HP. That's Hitmontop, so it certainly can have a decent amount of bulk to it. And then the next pick, we have one of my favorites, which is Umbreon. Extremely tanky Pokemon. What do you think of Umbreon in
the
this
TDO slot? Monster of Great League. Very spammy. I love the Snarl upgrade to it to give it a little bit more play, but in these draft formats, it's just enough to absolutely just wall out a lot of the fringe picks, strictly because it is so bulky.
Yeah, no, absolutely. How viable do you think the Umbreon Defense Deoxys core is in like this draft type format, given the deep the nerf to Defense Deoxys?
I mean, I wouldn't even say the Psycho Boost didn't even really nerf Deoxys that much. I mean, Rock Slide and Thunderbolt are still very, very good
for
coverage
sure.
Paired with counter. And I feel like you would want to run Thunderbolt a little bit more now because of Registeel.
Yeah.
At least hit it for neutral. I'm surprised it hasn't been picked already, to be honest.
Yeah, no, for sure. So they actually, surprisingly, they picked a different second counter user before Defense Deoxys. So let me just confirm this. So Oh, actually, no. Did I put this wrong? Oh, no, that's right. Okay. Shadow Brady selected Medicham. Medicham, like, both got nerfed and buffed in one update. Like, I got the psychic boost, right? And then obviously the power up punch nerf was makes it very sad to use sometimes. Like, it used to have it didn't really make that much sense. That's how good power up punch was. The fact that in the 2 shield, like, it was like basically a tie with Skarmory, which really like doesn't make that much sense. Given
you
that
can almost claw through a Zoomerl too.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just ridiculous.
Medicham has some decent bulk to it, but it's not like a huge tank where it like relies on its bulkiness. It certainly was like how OP power up punch was to it. But now Psychic got buffed, and now people are using dynamic punch more. So there's certainly some couple different movesets that you can run, and it has decent coverage, especially in this type draft format where you can TM between to be able to cover a lot of different things in the meta. But it's a little bit interesting pick.
It's got a lot of play too with the power punch. You can boost your other charge attacks, be it Ice Punch, Dynamic Punch, or Psychic. So
yeah,
that's all 4 of his movesets still viable.
Ooh, okay. So another Pokemon that got nerfed recently. That's part of Mr. Bliss's first double pick is Swampert. Swampert, I thought if in a previous draft, probably would have went like a little bit sooner.
Pretty soon.
Yeah. But what do you think about Swampert even after the nerf?
Even after the nerf, it's still fantastic. I mean, we say that it was nerfed, but it wasn't even nerfed that much. It went down from 90 damage to 80 damage, which it's still the most powerful, like 45 energy move that there is.
Yeah. I think it's 40 energy.
40 energy, yeah, incredibly spammy.
Yeah, so it's very spammy still. In Hydro Cannon water, and then it still has Earthquake too. Like, has an excellent second charge move, which is great. So, and then the second pick, this is something that I think this is a Pokemon that we don't appreciate as much, again, because it hasn't been in any Silph Arena Cups, or even any Silph Arena metas, which is Cresselia. Cresselia is extremely bulky. Like, has some like pretty interesting. Well, I guess it was in Sinister. I should say that, but Sinister was definitely a meta where it was like almost stacked up against it to use.
Right.
But
even then, that's only like the only meta I would have allowed it in because it's so powerful when it's unchecked.
Yeah, absolutely. So, but I think a really great Pokemon, and in the draft type format, if you don't have a check to Cresselia, it can basically be a safe switch. It can basically be a third shield. It's like has some like really incredible bulk to it. And then we're gonna see Shadow Brady. This is a very interesting pick. This is a very good Pokemon. Maybe a little bit early for my taste. Venusaur.
Oh, really? I love Venusaur.
I love Venusaur too, but I think there's like quite a few grass types that you can use now. Like, and I'm not sure if I think Tropius is for sure the standout grass type, and then Venusaur, Meganium are pretty close. You can also rely on a number of different Razor Leafers, and then as well you also have like a new grass type that's come to the meta, and we'll see if it gets selected or if even useful in a more open format is Shiftry. So I think it's a strong pick. Maybe a little early for me, at least.
Yeah, walled by the steel types. Yeah. Steel resists everything in its move pool.
It's kind of a nice compliment to, I guess, Medicham. I guess Medicham helps it more than it helps, because I guess they're both vulnerable to flyers.
Flying. Mm-hmm.
But still decent pick. And then Simon the Yellow picks up Defense Deoxys. So it's very interesting.
DD Umbreon core.
It's very interesting when you contrast this to the Master League meta that I did this draft this morning. In Master League, I would say Dragon Breath is the best fast move. In Great League, it's definitely counter. Like there's a lot of counter users, and these Pokemon just scale. Maybe mostly because like they're not really that bulky when they're not that bulky when they go up to max, but scale down in Great League, they're certainly a little bit more closer. So what would you recommend as the moveset for? Are you running Rock Slide Thunderbolt as
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no sense to run Psycho Boost. I just prefer not debuffing the heck out of my defense Deoxys. I mean, it already has no attack, and after one attack stage debuff, it's just
you're not doing very much. 2-stage debuff is like the same thing as like all your moves getting resisted. It's it's not pleasant at all. Did pick up the Umbreon Defense Deoxys core, which they're pointing out in the chat. Okay, this one I might pronounce the name wrong. Zweilous.
Oh yeah, Zweilous.
I don't have a German accent, unfortunately. What do you think? What do you think of Zweilous in this pick?
I love Zweilous. It Dragon Breath is, again, fantastic move in the Great League, and then paired with Body Slam and Dark Pulse, two great charge moves. It can hit many things
and I
for
think
unresisted damage.
I think that's like a decent core too. Hitmontop Zweilous.
Yeah, you gotta watch out for fairies. But...
You gotta watch out for fairies, which you can check later on because there's no. We'll see. Like a lot of times, sometimes you see in draft formats, charm users not even get picked because people are so worried about steel types. But certainly, yeah, fairy types or charmers are something to worry about. But like Zweilous might get walled by some of the steel types, which Hitmontop covers, and then any of the psychic types are going to be walled by. So, anyways,
I mean, you'd think that it would get walled by the steel types, but the right IVs, with a little bit of attack, high defense, a little bit lower HP, you can actually claw through Bastiodon.
No, I say if high enough, it can be like no baiting required too. Which is pretty, but that's a pretty extreme Zweilous, but
right.
We're gonna see. This is a very interesting one. Melmetal.
Melmetal now with superpower.
Yes, superpower allows it to beat a lot of the fellow steel types, which is something like Melmetal definitely fell off pretty hard, especially after Probopass was introduced. But now with superpower, it makes it very interesting, especially now that they can TM between. Like you might see like someone that runs Melmetal might run like 3 different movesets. They might run Rock Slide Superpower. They might run Rock Slide Thunderbolt. They might run Rock Slide Flash Cannon, especially if they want to hit neutral damage. So I think superpower definitely goes a long way for it. Interesting.
It feels like a budget Registeel now because Thundershock, high energy gain, comp will lock on.
Yeah.
Fighting move is it just feels like Registeel a little bit.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Absolutely.
Next up, Grass picks Vigoroth. What do you think Vigoroth paired with Tropius? Vigoroth,
well,
always good.
Able to take out the ice and the steel types. It would probably give Tropius some troubles. Vigoroth is always good. Body Slam, incredible offensive pressure, especially when paired with counter. It has to be one of my favorite leads, just blanket in the Great League, because of the counter and Body Slam combination.
Yeah, Usa. This is a very interesting pick, man. A lot of really, maybe I'm like, I think this Pokemon I feel is underrated overall in Open Great League. And every time I've seen it in a draft format has performed really well. But this is the first time I've seen it drafted this early. Mantine.
It's ranked really highly with the Bubble Beam.
Yeah, but I have not seen it been picked up this early in a draft. But every time I see a draft, I'm like, oh, they should draft Mantine. They don't select it at all or until like the 5th or 6th round. So I think it's a very strong.
Wow.
I think it's a very strong pick. Has some decent stats to it. Has some pretty interesting moves. Has Bubble Beam, Ice Beam. Air Relay sucks, but The bubble beam damage is, man, you shield a bubble beam, you feel terrible.
That's rough, yeah.
You feel terrible, but I think a very strong pick. So looks like Master Tatya selects the other mud boy, Wish Cash, Daddy Cash. A lot of times, so what do you think of Wish Cash paired with Skarmory?
That's the original. I think that's like the original core that we ever saw come out of Great League. Is the Flyer Mudboy core, dating all the way back to Boulder, and it made its way into Freestyle from there. Skarmory Whiscash has just got to be. They have perfect coverage, fantastic synergy between the two. I mean, they cover each other perfectly. That's just the OG.
I think it's a fantastic pick, and something that I think again because of Timeless and because of Fusion, people are starting to gain Wish Cash was, especially since Swampert was introduced, everyone's like every other mud boy doesn't matter. Like once right. And I made that video. I always bring it up. I made that video saying it's going to be like cup depending if like the water's interesting or the blizzard's interesting. But everyone's like, nope, Swampert all day. But Wish Cash way tankier than Swampert, has access to Blizzard, which gives it like very interesting coverage against grass types, against flyers. So a very a great Pokemon. I'm glad people are starting to gain an appreciation for it again.
I think this cup that we're in is the Whiscash Appreciation Cup.
Yeah, this is definitely the Whiscash Cup. It's just so good, like really, really tanky, especially for a mud boy. They're saying in the chat, best mud boy. So it's definitely up there. It's definitely. I think the three mud boys, Quagsire, Whiscash, Swampert, are just different mud boys. They all cover the same core things, but their movesets make them quite different. But
absolutely.
But they're saying Stun Fist coming in hot for that spot. I think it's obviously it's a different type. What do you think of potential of Stunfisk?
It'll definitely lose out to the other mud boys, but I think it'll be similar to Whiscash. You know how Whiscash has like a blizzard for the flying types. Yeah. Stunfisk then has the electric for the flying type coverage.
No double.
I don't
weakness.
know. I'm really interested to see how it'll handle.
Yeah, for sure. I guess it'll be able to wall Skarmory. And it'll be interesting to see how useful the electric typing is versus the water typing, right? Because we don't see a ton of fire in the meta, so but we'll see cup dependent, and I think it might be pretty. Oh, they were actually saying Quagsire is the best mud boy.
Oh, they were saying Quagsire?
Yeah. Quagsire is good. It really depends on the cup.
Yeah.
But
edge quick coverage and with the acid spray bait is incredible.
Yeah, absolutely. For sure. I would say
the best mud boy? I'm not so sure.
Yeah. I think it's probably third. Third,
oh,
solid.
Really? Even behind Swampert?
I think it's behind. I think there are more times that you'll find Swampert more useful. I think I put it this way, maybe you'll find more times where Quagsire is the second best mud boy than Swampert. But you'll see there's not, when all three mud boys are available, it's not that often that Quagsire is number one.
Right.
Versus there are times when Swampert's number one. So it depends on what you value. If you value on average, Quagsire has such a diverse move pool that's able to cover a lot of things, right? And you always have to worry about what moveset what charge move it's potentially throwing at you, versus Swampert's more predictable. Yeah, you might run into Sludge Wave, but it's not that devastating unless you're going up against a Zoomerall, I guess would be an example. But still pretty interesting. So okay then two. Blasting Turtle selects Bastiodon. What do you think of that paired with Altaria?
It should give them, because Altaria offers protection against fighting in the ground types that would otherwise give Bastiodon a lot of trouble. I'd say that's a fairly common core that we see within the Great League is that flyer tank as well, because of the protection that Altaria offers Bastiodon. Bastiodon, I feel like, lost a lot of stock, especially with Reggie Steele.
Yeah, now even with Melmetal
over the Great League nowadays.
Yeah.
So, right, yeah, and even Melmetal now. So,
like, I think you always lose stock when you can get beat by two other things in your same
same role.
Yeah, the anti-fly
right,
role.
Right.
It's starting to like, Bastiodon now has like questionable matchups against all the anti-flyers.
Mm-hmm.
Like against Probopass. It's still very good.
Right, yeah, it's still the I call it the playtime's over Pokemon, because you just throw into a match and anything that doesn't like specifically have like counters to it just gets walled.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely run through a team. It has I think the second highest bulk, it's a third highest stat spread in all of Great League, behind like Lissy and Chansey or something. So it's super super tanky. So
it's nuts.
Let's see. It's they have some very not safe for work things in the chat.
Probably about Bastiodon.
Yeah, definitely about Bastiodon. So like yeah. Okay, let's so as they're catching up, trying to figure out what the next set of picks are, because OK Then 2 has a very critical double pick right now. I think like probably one of the most important double picks there, right? Because now you're like gonna like really establish your core with this second and third pick. So we are going to give them a little bit of time there. Let's go ahead and let's take a look. Let's read some of the fun facts that they've presented to us previously. Let's see here. So Sigley has a very interesting Discord name, which is also not very safe for work. Says, I'm from Hungary, from a small town called Papa. Interesting. Started to play Pogo in 2016. Was an early bird. Okay. I'm mostly doing PvP. Draft is my favorite format. I'm playing in the group PogoRaids in our local community called PvP Underground. My playstyle is catch and trade. Love to do some awesome trades and get some lucky Pokemon. I would like to thank my wife for not killing me because I play this game. And apparently his goal for 2020 is to battle me. So next up is Simon the Yellow. Simon the Yellow from Budapest, Hungary, Europe. So a lot of like international flavor here. I play Pokemon Go since the beginning. It's like a hobby. I really like raid drafts as well, which we talked about earlier, which got me into this wonderful community in the first place, which they're talking about the PogoRaids Discord. I am the kind of person who does not max 6 Pokemon of the best type, just 1 or 2. I like variety. I think that's interesting. I've never played any other Pokemon game. I know the Pokemon universe from the TV show and from some movies, which I always find like very interesting, because the TV show obviously gives you a very different perspective on the Pokemon world than the games, right?
Right.
And so my favorite Pokemon are Charizard, Infernape, Greninja, and the likes, which had a well-written character development in the anime. I'm far from being good in PvP. I'm being humble. Like, if you made it to the championship division in the draft format, you obviously have to be pretty good. I'm just here to have fun. I'm usually in the middle, one step below the best and one step above the rest. I'm here in the top division because of my good drafting skills in version 2. I think drafting is so important. It's like basically half the battle when it comes to these things, right? Like I've seen like really great battlers that have drafted really poorly, and like there's against really other top competition, it's just very hard to overcome. I feel this is my strength, but I'm quite nervous because it can go sideways pretty easily, like in second version of the Ultra League draft, but you probably remember. If you're wondering why would someone draft Stoutland? You draft that's pretty... Stoutland's terrible. But anyways, wow. I would like to try out some interesting picks. If you have any questions, feel free to ask me. Thank you for your hard work for promoting this format. Master Tatya says, "Hi King. I'm in the counter division in PogoRaids. It's a good question that what you should know about me. Earlier in the raid challenges, solos, and legendaries, mostly unique Pokemon. Played in the raid draft in PogoRaids. Because of the much bugs, I couldn't enjoy anymore, so I stopped and started to play PvP instead. Common sentiment. In PvP, especially in drafts, I love to use a bit of off-meta Pokemon that nobody uses before me. In version 2, in the first round, I drafted Sunny Castworm for my last pick. I actually really like Sunny Castworm. In my local community, at the same time, I drafted Reggie Steele in the last term, way before lock-on. In the version 2, I drafted Suicune, which at the end of September before Timeless, but after Bubble Beam. And I think that's just like being ahead of your time. Like a lot of times people recognize now how good Suicune is because like we saw it play out in Ferocious. And Hitmontop in my last term. And they all became relevant now, but almost no one's seen them use them beforehand. And now I plan to choose the one really off-meta Pokemon. We'll see which one will be. My favorite.
And who is this again?
This is Master Tatya. All right, picking pretty standard pick. About my favorite Pokemon. General, not in PvP or Pokemon Go. I love glass cannons. Favorite Pokemon are Scyther, Sceptile, Crocodile. Is that like a Gen Crocodile?
Yeah, that comes on later. Yep.
Gen 6 or something?
It's a ground dark type. Yeah.
A Staraptor. That's very interesting. And then I don't know this one.
Now with that close combat buff.
Yeah, for sure. Menshao? I don't know what that is.
Oh,
Minshao?
I'm gonna butcher the pronunciation too. I know which Pokemon he's talking about.
Whatever it is. Well, that's it. I hope it's not too boring. If you want to know something else, just ask me. Okay, so here's a question for you. What do you think is the most underrated Pokemon in general PvP? Like, obviously, there's going to be ones you talk with like you scrim with a lot of brilliant people, so they might know what these Pokemon are. But what do you think is the most underrated Pokemon right now?
I said it earlier. I really like Golbat a lot for its flexibility in the lead because it has the double Razor Resist or Razor Leaf Resist, which is a common lead. Has a Charm Resist. Has a lot of bait and play with the Shadow Ball and then the Poison Fang. That's personally it's just one of my favorite underrated picks.
Yeah, for sure. I think it's a very, very good Pokemon as well. That bait and nuke is always something you have to worry about. Okay, all right, awesome. So Mr. Bliss says playstyle, casual in most aspects, slightly more casual in PvP. Favorite Pokemon, obviously Blissey and Togekiss. From New York City, worst shiny luck of anyone I've met. If I played this game for shinies, I would have quit a long time ago. Okay, right. Okay, so okay then too says Morning King. We've met a couple times, once in DC and then at the Ultimate Showdown in Philly. Good to talk to you again. I'm from Maryland. I've been playing competitive Pokemon since Diamond or Pearl, pre-Platinum even. That's pretty early, right?
Yeah.
I value safe switches a lot, but I'm not afraid to use glass cannons, Haunter in PvP, Attack Form Deoxys in raids. My favorite Pokemon are Gengar and Gyarados. Let me know if you need anything else. So the VYXZX says, I'm from Manchester, day one player. Quillfish is my favorite Pokemon. I'm not that interesting. Not sure what else to say here. Uh, okay. This is a very weird line. And one of our top tourney Pokemon in my town wants to marry you. LOL. Get far too many marriage requests, so fortunately not available. So people are asking what I'm reading. These are facts that I asked them to send to me so that we could read in between as they discuss their picks. So next up we have Shadow Brady. I'm 21 from New Jersey. If I wasn't sick, I would do a New Jersey accent for this, but far too sick for that. I do almost all my Pogo in Maryland, where I go to school. One of the admins of the Eastern Shore of Maryland Discord help host almost all the monthly cups. I've been playing since day one, though not consistently. Favorite Pokemon is Gallade. PvP wise, I started with Silphion like many others. Wasn't sure I enjoyed PvP that much, and I was convinced to try a Boulder and got super interested from there. As far as my playstyle, I'm definitely more offensive. In favor of low energy charge move spam, Celio, Vigoroth, or favorite use. I dislike Pokemon that with an effect that's not 100% and having a hope to for a chance to turn the table. So probably not a big Octazooka fan or like fishing for the debuff or fishing for the buff. Fun fact, for this draft, you should see me try and take Defense Deoxys first round. Did he take it? He actually didn't take it.
He was picked second round.
Yeah, he actually didn't pick it. He picked Medicham. Interesting. I drafted DD in the previous round and loved using it. However, the nerfs to Psycho Boost, that's probably won't be happening. Okay, interesting. So, Grass says, hi, King. I'm from the GL Counter Division. Here's what you asked. Playstyle, right now, mostly PvP. Favorite Pokemon, Charizard, Lapras, Zapdos. Random fact, I'm part of the Team Wild Charge Integrate only by Instinct players. I'm not sure what that means. From Santiago, Chile. So pretty cool to see players from all over. It is okay if you say grass instead of however you otherwise would pronounce that name. So let's see if they're caught up now. So okay then too selected, which I think is arguably the second best. Definitely top 3 grass. Meganium. What do you think about Meganium for okay then twos to be paired with Azumarill?
I mean, outside of flying types, it is incredibly hard to pin down Meganium. Between Frenzy Plant and Earthquake, it can hit, I mean, so much of the field for at least neutral damage, and then it has great, fantastic bulk, allowing it to get off quite a few Frenzy Plants in a game.
Yeah, but also, Earthquake is quite interesting for it. And another pick is Hypno. Hypno, I think, is his second pick, which I think is pretty interesting. I'm curious on the coverage between. I think these are like 3 really good Pokemon. Mm-hmm. I'm not really sure like their synergy with each other. I guess like if you're worried about poison types, Hypno is psychic. I guess dark types. They have like they're no like strong duo cores here, but they're 3 really good Pokemon that have like decent coverage to each other, which might apply to more his style, like looking for safe switches, which all these 3 Pokemon have enough bulk and interesting movesets to be able to safely switch in a lot of matchups. So that might be more playing into his style.
I almost wonder if he picked Hypno because he wouldn't want to play against it. I mean, I personally would not want to play against Hypno. It's just way too bulky. It irritates me.
For sure. And because they can TM between, like you basically customize your moveset.
Oh, that is true. A lot of versatility.
Like I think that adds a lot of value to it. You might have double punch. You might have Shadow Ball. You might have punch, Focus Blast. Right? There's a lot of variety in this. So.
Hope he's got like 300 TMs.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. Okay, then too is from Maryland. They like to raid a lot there. Let's see here.
Yeah, they have a super organized PvP community.
Yeah, and honestly, it's a very strong community out there. Okay, looks like they're taking a little bit more time to decide. So let's go ahead and take a look. Oh, okay, I just gotta move this up apparently. Okay, there you go. Let's see in the Great Lake what they haven't selected so far, so we can get a perspective on Reggie Ice. What do you think? Reggie Ice is ranked number 9. I never see it drafted that early. I don't think a lot of people have exactly know how to use Reggie Ice, but it's a pretty interesting Pokemon.
Ice is just Mono Ice is just a horrible. It's not a great defensive typing at all. It
It's
really
the
doesn't offer.
It's the worst typing.
Yeah. I've seen it work really, really well though with the earthquake coverage.
It's just weak to so many
Feels
things.
like a knockoff Registeel, I guess. I guess the other two Reggies always feel like knockoff Registeel, but
Yeah, less bulk, worse defensive typing, and and the earthquake is a good move, but Blizzard's good too. It's just I guess not as expensive with lock on to get to, but you still definitely don't be in, you're not still in that like top tier of speed tiers compared to some other ones. Like I think once you go over 7 seconds, like now you're like in the mid tier type speed, right? Because you have earthquake at 6.5 seconds, but still interesting. Hariyama actually ranked ahead of Medicham. What do you think of that? You have options. You can run superpower, close combat. I generally prefer close combat.
Heavy Slam.
Oh, Heavy Slam's interesting because it allows you to hit fairy types.
Hit the fairy types, yeah.
But it's a pretty not great move, but at least you can do some damage to some fairy types, especially if you end up in a farm down situation. And it has like decent. It's not super glassy. It's not super tanky, but has some bulk to it.
Right. It was modeled after a sumo wrestler when they designed the Pokemon.
Yeah, exactly. And then Regirock. Yeah, it's Stone Edge, Focus Blast.
I actually really like Regirock. Let's see. It got used against me in a draft tournament down in Richmond. Rock is just an incredible offensive type. Stone Edge is a Shadow Ball clone.
Yeah,
I think it's gonna have a little bit of play here.
Yeah, and Rock Stone Edge is it the cheapest of all the Reggie's charge moves? I think so, right? 55. It can spam really quickly, so or potentially bait, especially paired with Focus Blast. Machamp, what do you think of Machamp? A lot of fighters.
I haven't been Machamp myself yet, but from my understanding, it's pretty classy. A lot of attack on it, but also very, very spammy with the cross chop and the rock slide.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Cross chop spam is definitely for real, and then rock slide at least gives you a little bit of coverage.
Against the flying types, absolutely.
Yeah. It's still, counter cross chop is a really great combination. You've seen those picked. Dugong, if someone has a legacy Dugong, could be proved to be pretty useful.
I've been trying to make it work in freestyle play. Haven't mastered it quite yet. I really wish that it had surf. If it had surf, it would be amazing.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't think they necessarily have any intentions. Well, maybe we'll see. Surf would make it.
Even if they unlocked it for everybody.
Yeah. Surf would be pretty OP. So we have a couple picks coming in, and it looks like we have Toxicrow for Blasting Turtle. What do you think of Toxicrow?
Lots of utility. A fantastic poke because it's got counter, and then you got Mud Bomb. The Poison Sludge Bomb. Is there Sludge Wave? Is there Sludge Bomb for the fairy types?
Sludge Bomb.
Yeah. Sludge Bomb for the fairy types that would otherwise give the fighters some problems. And then if you want a little bit more extra fighting power on it, you can run Dynamic Punch.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Man, this team's right now is very weak to Wishcash, But again, like you only have to worry about Wish Cash one time. And that might be like a unique type Pikachu Pokemon that is able to beat the tanks and Altaria. But and maybe weak to that's right. So Master Tatya picks Machamp.
There we go.
So that's a very interesting pick. What do you think of Machamp in relation to what they might be weak to right now? Machamp in, fighting and ground, similar coverage. Both beat Rock and Steel. Ice, I guess. Like, just a...
He's got a pretty good boulder team going right now, it looks like.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, Whiscash and Skarmory is just such a good core. You could really free up your other picks and just bring whatever you want almost to support that core.
Yeah. No, for sure. Absolutely. We'll see how he runs out the next set of Pokemon. Okay. USA selects Mew.
Yeah, there we go.
And Mew, especially because they can TM in between, crazy flexible pick. You can basically design Mew. You can basically design, unless they have like a really like hard dark counter or like ghost counter.
Yeah, like Sableye or Umbreon. That's really about it.
That's really about it, right? And then they can basically design Mew to be a safe switch. So you have to a lot of TMs, so hopefully they have a lot of TMs.
And with that overheat buff, you can throw overheat on it with Shadow Claw.
Absolutely.
I mean, the possibilities are just endless.
Absolutely. Grass selects Sableye. What do you think about Sableye in...
I love Sableye. Incredible offensive pressure. Very spammy with the Shadow Claws. It's fast move. I like it as a like a two shield. In two shield situations, because it is so spammy, it's very good at drawing shields from your opponent if you need to like help set up a closer.
Yeah, for sure. It might be hard to pair with Vigoroth because they both are Pokemon that kind of demand shields, and they're a little bit better as with shields up. But next up, we see from Sigley selecting Victreebel. What do you think of Victreebel with this? I guess this team's very weak to Mud Boys right now. So Victreebel is kind of a nice pick here.
What's his first pick with Melmetal? I can't see. Was it AWAC?
AWAC.
Okay.
What do you think? I think that's a pretty...
Victreebel is dangerous. I mean, you either resist the Razor Leaf and you win, or you don't resist the Razor Leaf and you die. It's
yeah. I think it's a very good pick here, Razor Leafer. I think if you want to put a lot of pressure onto Mud Boys, especially Wish Cash, like I think Shiftry has like been proven to be a really deadly combination, or really deadly to Mud Boys switching in. But Victreebel, Razor Leafers are always gonna get you quite a bit. So, let's see here. Looks like they're still waiting on there. What would you select if you were the VYZX? Right now you're weak to Charmers, right?
Yeah, we're weak to Fairy, so probably a Steel or a Poison type.
Steel or Poison type.
Golbat.
Golbat could be good here. I think Golbat will be available a little later though.
Yeah, absolutely.
Steel types, like you go if you go steel types, then you're like exposing your poison might make a little bit more sense, because if you go like Probopass, for example, here deal with fairies, then you have like two weaknesses to fighting without necessarily any coverage. You can you can also draft in the back later for that, which is not necessarily a bad thing. Probopass does like shore up some of your like ice weakness as well, right? Which is
I think that the poison is a really good option here because it resists both the fighting and the fairy that would give Xylis some problems. I mean, when I try to pair Xylis with things, I try and put it with the poison type typically.
Yeah, for sure. Poison. What poison type would you?
It is hard to pick a poison type that's not also weak to ground, which is why I usually end up going with Golbat.
I think Golbat. Golbat could be a solid pick here. You could shore up with Golbat a little bit later on, hoping that no one counterpicks you. I think you can save that for the fourth round, and then maybe go for like a more high risk pick here, and then hopefully ran out your team with Golbat in the fourth round.
Tentacruel, it could be interesting here.
Tentacruel, yeah, I can see that. Yeah, Tentacruel is good because Xylis and Hitmontop probably have pretty decent matchups against Mud Boys because they're gonna hit pretty hard, especially with shields up. Tentacruel is good. Let me see. Poison. So they have Drapion. You could go. They have Haunter, Alolan Muck. I think is a Ivysaur.
I like Gunk Shot on Alolan Muck. Just I mean, I know that it's a little bit. It's like one extra snarl, but I think the energy is the extra damage is worth it.
Yeah. Especially when paired with Snarl, for sure. I think it makes a little bit more sense because the cost of it's not as excruciating.
It's a Hydro Pump clone. Yeah,
I think
it's a pretty good move.
I think Alolan Muck can give you. Some decent matchups here, especially you can switch around the movesets too. Like you might run poison jabs if you encounter some fairies. You might run Snarl for like more general matchups. So I think Alolan Muck could be pretty good here. So he ends up selecting Charizard. What do you think of Charizard in that pick? Charizard anti fairy, right? That fire typing does resist. It's really glassy though, but it could be pretty.
There's not a lot of bulk on his team, but his team also has a lot of play too. I really want to see the matches with this guy's team.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Let's see here. Someone says, "I'll take." Wow. Okay. Simon the Yellow. They're obviously listening in. Says, "I'll take Golbat."
There you go. Because the Umbreon DD Corp is really only truly afraid of Charmers and Razor Leafers, which Golbat offers excellent protection for both of them.
I think it's an excellent pick for sure.
Yeah.
All right. Then Shadow Brady selects Fortress. What do you think of Fortress?
With the new move, it didn't get the
mirror shot. Yeah, mirror shot. I'm not sure about Fortress here because you still lose to a lot of flyers. Like basically, like Tropius beats all three of these Pokemon.
Right.
Like Skarmory would beat all three. Like Altaria would beat all three, right? So I think like Shadow Brady has some work in the back to kind of round out his team.
Yeah, he needs protection from the flying types.
Yeah, like even probably does Mantine beat Fortress? I guess it depends on moveset.
Yep. Even from Rainbow.
Yeah, and then you have Tropius.
You can safely tank a Rock Tomb like it's not a big deal.
Yeah, so basically like 4 of the top first 5 teams, then even AWAC would beat all 3. Charizard would beat all 3, right? So like definitely like right now Shadow Brady needs to work on shoring up his back half of his team because like right now he is like basically the whatever 7 of the 10 teams right now have like like Pokemon that can beat all three, which is usually not a good sign because then you have to like build and check things in the back, which is fine. You can certainly do that. Mr. Bliss. Let's see here. Let's see. Okay, it looks like they said they're gonna still deciding. What would you select here? Like what is
For this, it's a double pick, correct?
Yeah, double pick. Swampert, Cresselia. I think that's like a pretty good core right there, right?
Yeah.
Cresselia beats a lot of things. Swampert checks the steel types, right?
Perhaps a dark type to give you a little bit more coverage from the ghosts.
Someone dark type, yeah. What dark type would
I'm trying to think of what dark types are still available.
Let's see.
Probably like Muck, Skuntank.
Yeah, Muck, Skuntank.
Drapion.
Eradicate, Drapion. I think Muck makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Muck also gives you like some coverage against grass types, and additional coverage to protect the Swampert a little bit more.
That's a good point. Yeah, a dark poison. I think it slotted very nicely here.
Yeah, the only thing is like, yeah, dark poison. Dark poison probably makes sense here. As one, what would be your second pick?
Not sure. I mean, these last picks are where it really starts to see like the personality traits or like the player traits of each
for
these
sure.
Players.
Someone's saying Lucario or Blaziken.
Yep, those fighters are still on the table.
Which I think are Magneton. If you go Alolan, I wouldn't go Alolan, Muck, and Magneton.
Right.
It's like a little too weak to.
A little too weak to ground.
Yeah, and then you would be forced later on to pick a grass, and even then that might not be enough to deter Poliwrath.
Yeah, now with the Mud Shot unlocked.
Yeah, might be interesting. Yeah, you could like there could be times when you want to run Bubble. Someday you're gonna want to run Mud Shot. Someone said Ludicolo. I think Ludicolo is too early.
Yeah, a little too early for Razor Leapers.
Yeah. Okay, he's gonna. Ooh, interesting. Selects Togekiss and Skuntank.
There you go.
Okay.
You listened in on the dark poison advice.
Yeah. Togekiss. What do you think? Togekiss is it's arguably the best charmer in Great League.
Yeah, I love if you get the ancient power, get ancient power boost. It's awesome. Usually gang. You can even claw through Skarmory if you get the ancient power boost.
Yeah, for sure. Let's see here.
And both of those picks offer decent protection against the against grass types as well.
Yeah, for sure. Shadowberry selects Lantern. Yeah.
See, I was thinking about Lantern for Anti-Flyer. I like the direction that he's going with the Anti-Flyer. But the problem is the things that will resist electric that fly, like Altaria and Tropius, are definitely going to give that team some problems.
Yeah, I guess it gives you coverage against the Skarmory Lantern teams.
Skarmory, Mantine,
Charizard, and then
yep.
So like you then he has to worry about a little bit later on about about Tropius. Tropius would love this team right now.
Could probably go through all four, except for Fortress.
Fortress is a pretty neutral matchup, but like it'd be a pretty like safe Pokemon to use. Okay, Simon, the yellow is going Probopass.
Wow, he's got a lot of bulk on that team.
Yeah, and I think Probopass is interesting because man, it's kind of a Probopass. Kind of
I really like it on this team. It seems like three of these Pokemon, between Umbreon, DD, and Probopass, like all force answers to them. And so in a draft format, I feel like it'd be difficult to cover all three.
Yeah, I do, and there's not necessarily not a bad thing to have redundancy. Sometimes it's a good thing to like keep your opponents guessing. But like Probopass and Umbreon kind of have like, I guess in some cases they have similar coverage, sometimes they don't. Okay, yeah, no, interesting. What do you think for the next pick? What would you go with?
Let's see, he got his Charm Resist in there.
Yeah.
Potentially another Poison type. I'm not sure where he's going to go with this. What about you? What would you like to see for his team?
I think like his first three Pokemon have like decent cover. Like you're kind of weak to Skarmory, but then like that's just no, you're not weak to Skarmory because of you're weak to Altaria, I guess. But you have like neutral-ish matchup with Zweilous. Altaria does end up winning.
And then Charizard can certainly, I mean, after a Dragon Claw, can put it in killing range for Zweilous.
For sure. So I think like the team. You even have
Stone Edge to hit it.
Yeah, that's true. You have Stone Edge as well. The team is like, it has like decent coverage with I'm looking at compared to the other teams. Like I don't necessarily see a Pokemon that goes unchecked.
Right.
Between them, it's pretty good coverage. At best, like neutral matchups here, which I think is pretty. Yeah, I think at this point in time, you start like branching out, maybe like thinking about like second set of cores that like run anti to that. Players start playing some mind games with your opponent. Which one do you think might be useful in the back?
Maybe a little bit more, maybe a bulkier pick just to like give him some balance.
Yeah.
Like a defensive, like safe pivot.
Let's see here. What would be a bulky Pokemon? Like you.
Which of our options are still left?
That
have a lot of TDO.
Yeah, I'll show the screen right here. So like the problem is like loans a lot of TDO also have like another counter weakness. You don't necessarily have like you go Reggies are pretty tanky. You could go Bronzong, some like bulk Claydol. Those don't necessarily. Well, Claydol kind of introduces the shared water weakness.
He has three pretty good generalists on his team right now. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw Bronzong there.
Yeah, I think Bronzong's a pretty strong pick. Where's Bronzong rated? Oh, is Bronzong way down there? Yeah, way 41. Interesting. Even like Munchlax. Munchlax same weakness. Could you go like a flyer?
Another flyer in addition to Charizard?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I don't see why not.
You also go Wormadam if you want to.
Wormadam?
Wormadam?
Trash?
Yeah. What is that? How does Wormadam pair up with the rest of his team?
Oh, I think that'd actually slot in there pretty nicely.
Yeah, Wormadam trash. Decent bulk to it. Decent set of moves that you can run as well. Like you can run Confusion, right? Like if you think that they're gonna run a fighter that threatens your Zweilous, or at least play mind games like that bench pressure, that their Wormadam trash might run Confusion. Yeah, no, I think let's see what he ended up picking. Oh man, okay. He picked the tanky option that is a decent option, Dugong.
Oh, there we go. And Dugong with Icy Wind, practically gives your entire team a little bit of bulk. Because if you Icy Wind a Pokemon and then you switch out, it essentially raises the defense of your team by lowering your opponent's attack.
Yeah, exactly.
So it does give his team a little bit more bulk.
Yeah, exactly.
In essence.
Or forces out a switch, right? So I think there's
right.
There's definitely some like pretty decent.
This team has a lot of play. I feel like not too much predictability coming from this team.
Yeah, I would maybe like next round pick up a Charmer to like deter. You need to deter fighters because you have a double fighting weakness right now, and nothing that really that strong that really deters it. So let me just to go in here. Looks like your dogs agree with the Charmer picks.
I know. Jennifer will go take care of them.
All right. Let's see. Let's see what they've. Okay, what do you think for Sableye? It's not bad. Like
perhaps like another like ground type check. Maybe not even like strictly like a counter, but a flying type here. Something to resist ground at least.
Like Noctowl?
Right. Yeah, Noctowl would be fantastic.
Noctowl's
actually
here.
To resist that ghost typing, that would probably give AWAC some problems.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I think Noctowl would be very nice.
Noctowl's pretty bulky too, right? So gives you some. And as well, you're not necessarily scared of the electric types with Victreebel there, so freeze it up a little bit. I think Noctowl's a decent pick here. Kind of worried about like again, like you're only worried about one particular Pokemon, but like Charizard would be okay. Like AWAC does beat Charizard, but still be able to put a little bit of pressure on it. Noctowl. Yeah, Noctowl looks pretty good on this team. Let's see what he ends up selecting. Yeah, even Noctowl is a Pokemon that again is getting a little bit more appreciation after because of Fusion.
From the Fusion Cup,
right?
Yeah. It tanks a Blizzard, which is just
mind-blowing. People just remember like in Jungle it getting beaten up by Vigoroth. Yeah. But like that's obviously like against another really strong Pokemon, right? And like there's not that many counter users that don't take super effective damage from flying. So certainly a situational one. Looks like he's deciding between two. What other ones could he be deciding with? what do you think of Quagsire?
Like Quagsire as a Pokemon or Quagsire in this team? I think Quagsire, the Edge Quake coverage is incredible. I'm trying to figure out what it would offer this team, though.
Yeah, I'm not too sure.
I mean, it would be a very, very good generalist pick. I mean, it wouldn't cause us. It would be a problem to slot on this team.
Yeah, it doesn't present. Obviously, only weak to grass, right? It's not like this team is okay against grass, right? Melmetal, AWAC.
Melmetal and AWAC are okay against grass. Yeah. Well, Victreebel is not going to do well against grass at all.
Yeah.
So if you pick Quagsire, it'll kind of balance that out.
Yeah.
Give him a little bit more grass weakness, but I think it's still sufficiently covered.
Yeah.
Between the other two picks.
Quagsire, Noctowl. You could go. It's not a team that's super weak right now, so you can definitely pick some strong picks here. You don't need to shore up necessarily anything right now.
Right. He has a lot of flexibility to like customize this team here.
But it's also
he
the
doesn't
case,
like need coverage.
Yeah, I just don't also like. I guess in this team right now, I don't see like a. How do I describe it? Like maybe I'm underestimating Melmetal. Maybe I'm underestimating Melmetal. I don't see a strong core. You know what I mean? Like a dominant core that's going to be able to like you pair these two up.
Right.
You know what I mean? Maybe I'm underestimating Melmetal. Just Melmetal is so glassy. Even in its positive matchups, it still takes so much damage. It's just not going to have like the ability to run through. As opposed to like some of like the Skarmory Wishcash, right? Or even like some other ones like Bastion Altaria, some of these earlier on picks, or Umbreon Defense Deoxys. Let's see. Okay. Gonna select Wigglytuff. What do you think of Wigglytuff on this team?
Very impressive. Lots of fast move damage here. I mean, Wigglytuff, Charm, Razor Leaf on Victreebel.
Yeah. Putting a lot of protection around Melmetal. And then Grass selects Quagsire. We think Quagsire on Grass's team.
I think it's actually going to slot in very nicely. Grass seems to like a lot of those very, very spammy picks.
Yeah.
Sableye, Vigoroth, and then Tropius with Air Slash and Leaf Blade is going to offer a lot of shield pressure as well, or at least a decent amount. So I think Quagsire would fit in very well there. If you can burn shields with Sableye and Vigoroth and open up a place for Quagsire to come in with those devastating Stone Edges and Earthquakes, I think it's going to be set himself up in a pretty good position.
Yeah, absolutely. Looking at Alsa's team, what do you think is
I think this is my favorite team so far.
Reggie Steele, Mantine, Mew. It's a pretty solid team.
Because I think like at least the strategy that I first see here is if you can get Mantine to like win the matchup in front of it and sink a Bubble Beam into whatever Reggie Steele has to deal with, that's game over.
Yeah, makes Reggie Steele look even bulkier.
Exactly.
I guess you have a lot of flexibility with Mew. This is like why it's always so hard to try to figure out what to slot in when a team has Mew, just because like Mew, you have enough TMs, can fill like pretty much any hole that you have. I don't mind like a strong Charmer here either. Something that can like win a lot of like one shield matchups.
Something I think with a lot of shield pressure, I think would be very nice.
Yeah.
To try and set up Registeel for success.
Yeah, that's true. What would have a...
I mean, Vigoroth's already taken. That was like the first thing that came to mind. Maybe... I was thinking maybe Lapras or Celio, but you don't really want that extra fighting weakness with... I mean, you're already trying to set up Registeel for success. I mean, I wouldn't even say that his team needs anything. I'd like to see how just those 3 Pokemon right there handle.
Yeah. I think the weak team is like... let's see here. Does it... It's like
the team.
In the,
I think the team
builder. I could throw. I'll throw. I usually like throwing team builder for 4, but I think like the team's weak. Gotcha. The weakest team is weak to like Lantern.
That's a very good point.
Right. So Lantern would give it a little bit of trouble. That's why I'm thinking like something that can like
a grass type.
Grass type, like a raise, like a. I think like something that can, like grass type. More preferably Ivysaur. I would say like preferably a grass poison, so that way like you have that like additional fighting resistance.
Yeah. Yeah, and even the chat suggested Magneton, but I just don't think that Magneton would synergize well.
No, I don't think so.
With Registeel.
Yeah, no, I think. I think. Someone's saying Raikou. Kind of like. You're kind of like forced to shore up the ground weakness afterwards.
Yeah.
Right? Which I'm not like. I don't want you. You want to set Registeel for success, as you've pointed out. Rachel Leafer doesn't
offer a lot of shield pressure either.
Yeah. So I'm saying Shiftry, but I was thinking Shiftry too, but I prefer Ivysaur. It's just like less shared weaknesses with Registeel. Does like present you like a little bit more issues against like for example like Typhlosion if it gets selected a little bit later. But you still have Mantine.
Yeah. He needs a really, really good generalist.
Saying Haunter.
What'd you say?
Haunter, you kind of weak to dark types then. Like an Umbreon.
I mean, I love Haunter. I just don't think that it would offer this team much.
Hariyama, Legacy Politoed, Poliwrath.
Something that can really hold its own, because you can't really swap in Registeel.
Yeah.
You know, so whatever you bring with Registeel, if you have a bad lead with whatever he picks, you have to be able to swap in like you or Mantine.
Yeah. Someone's saying camera up looks good here.
Camera up always looks good. It's so bad.
Gallade? What do you think of Gallade?
Oh yeah.
Beats Fighters, beats Lantern.
Yeah. Beats Fighters, has good matchups against the ground types with the Leaf Blade.
Yeah. I think that's a pretty good pick.
Oh yeah, I can see it now. Confusion, okay, and the Leaf Blade, yeah.
Yeah, that's a solid pick. Yeah, I like that. I like the Gallade pick here. Let's see what he said. Oh, he picked Sceptile.
Whoa, spammy. No, that's some shield pressure.
Shield pressure covers electric weakness too. Right? Which I think is actually pretty good. Covers the Lantern. Well, that's good. That's a good pick. I like that.
Yeah. But we were talking about Ivysaur. I think that's a spammy grass type.
Someone's Master Tatya says Muck. I'm assuming regular Muck. Which, yeah. What do you think of Muck on this team? What are you weak to?
I mean, I guess if it has Thunder Punch, like if it, it's like Whiscash and Skarmory can like struggle with a Azumarill or any of like the other bulky waters, just because they can out bulk both Whiscash and Skarmory. So I think that Muck with the Poison Jab and Thunder Punch offers a little bit of protection against the bulky waters.
It's very like.
I'm not a fan of Muck personally.
You're kind of like polarizing right now because like you have like two Pokemon weak to confusion, right?
Yeah. It does offer some grass resistance as well for Whiscash. Not that you need any more grass resistance than Skarmory, really, but
yeah. Like to be honest, sometimes you want to invite the grass so you can farm later, right? Like, especially if they don't have like a Pokemon that can tank either Flash Cannon or Sky Attack really well. Like you kind of want then you want to switch in Whiscash, get off the Blizzard, them draw a shield. If they don't shield, then you KO their grass, and then you farm up with Skarmory. Like this classic Tempest type of like sacrificing your Whiscash, getting a shield and farming up later. But does if you okay, so selected Blasting Turtle selects Ivysaur. What do you think Ivysaur in this team?
God, this guy's already got so much confusion, weakness. But then I guess to shore it up with Bastiodon.
I actually would have preferred. Gives you unique ground coverage here, right?
That is true.
I would have preferred something that's not weak, like I think even like a Shiftry might be a better fit.
Right.
I
would have liked to see the Sceptile on this team and an Ivysaur on the Sceptile team.
Yeah. Non or like Ludicolo or something.
Right.
Yeah,
something that can safely tank an Earthquake.
Yeah, exactly. I think it would have been a little bit better fit here because like Earthquake against 3 of these Pokemon would do quite a bit of damage. Okay. Okay, then 2 has a double pick here. What would you again like okay then has like 3 good Pokemon, right? These are both like solid Pokemon, but like then they like kind of complement each other. Like obviously Hypno covers the poison weakness for both of them, but like it doesn't really help with like how do these 2 complement Hypno against like Steel weakness or someone's saying Blossom's pretty tanky. I think that would have been a pretty decent option too.
Pretty good.
Yeah, it has Leaf Blade as well. And yeah, again, you're not even necessarily worried about that much. What would you select here? Noctowl?
I'm not into that. Yeah, this guy has a lot of bulky picks on his team. Very safe. Yeah, Noctowl would be a nice choice for a flyer here.
Yeah.
It would also give, if Noctowl would resist the Ghost, which would otherwise give Hypno some problems.
Yeah. Just that right now, then Skarmory's safe to switch in.
That's true.
Tropius. No, not Tropius. I'm just looking down the teams. Yeah.
Or slash Tropius would give the team some problems.
Yeah. So I'm saying Ninetales here. I don't know if Ninetales. Squawk is saying need an answer to Reggie Steele. Yeah, that's a good point.
This first team?
Yeah.
Azu is
As you neutral.
sufficient.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It wins. It wins. Just hydro pumps all the way through.
Mm-hmm. I wouldn't even say that he needs anything.
Yeah, these are just like 3 good Pokemon right now, right? Like,
Right.
um,
And then you can kind of like mix and match according to your opponent's team.
yeah. So I'm saying Sunny Cast Form or Ninetales.
Someone really likes those fire types.
Yeah. And it's not bad. Like, it's just not that you're.
Yeah. Well, protection against other grasses, because Meganium doesn't really have a great matchup against other grass types at all.
Exactly.
Certainly not Azumarill.
So like
fire
a
type, I definitely could see safely slotted in here, or Steel type.
Yeah, like a Blossom would be give this team some trouble, or even but you can always carry like Fire Punch on your Hypno, right? To give it some coverage. Noctowl Lapras. What do you think of Noctowl Lapras? It is the double pick here.
He went for both Noctowl Lapras.
Oh no! What do you think of Noctowl Lapras?
I think that makes the most sense for this guy's team, seeing that he really, really likes the consistent, bulky picks.
Yeah.
I'm honestly surprised that Lapras has made it this far in the draft. I love Lapras in draft formats.
Yeah, I think it's very good. I think a lot of times there's like a lot of, but the thing is like, there's just flyers are good, bulky steals are good, counters are good. So like it's kind of like awkward to fit in Lapras in there, but I think obviously Lapras is very good. So his first pick is Noctowl. Does give that ghost resistance, which I think is going to be pretty important.
This guy is an incredibly bulky team.
I think he's still figuring out his second Pokemon. Dragonair, Kingdra, Wormadam. Wormadam? Trash?
Oh yeah, Steel type.
It just... Wormadam doesn't do anything against other Steel types.
Right.
Like now...
yeah, now we do kind of need some for the Steels.
Like, what does this team do against... What does this team do against Melmetal? Or Reggie Steele? Like, obviously Azumarill for Reggie Steele, but it's still, like, pretty safe switching. Like, you come in with a Azumarill, like, the loss is not going to be that bad, right? And if they bring it in.
Well, I mean, at first glance, it would look like Steel types would be a problem, but with the ability to like TM in between rounds, you can throw on the Hydro Pump on Azumarill, and you have Earthquake on Meganium, and then you can even throw on the Focus Blast on the Hypno to help out with the Steel types.
Or Fire Punch, depending on which one it has. Yeah, that's true.
True.
What about Celio? I think I like Celio a lot, but I don't necessarily know if it...
Bounce right off the Steel type.
It'll present you more weakness. Kanto, Ninetales, like... bench pressure against Steel types.
Yeah, you're not a Ninetales fan, I take it?
No, I like Ninetales. Are there better? There's not fire. That's probably the best available fire type left. Mawile. I don't think Mawile necessarily fits here. Regirock. Ooh. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. What do you think of Regirock in this team? So bulky.
Regirock.
Oh man. Okay, then too was not playing around when he said he valued safe switches, right? Like one of these Pokemon is going to be a safe switch on against every team. There's just so much bulkier.
Yeah.
You're not that.
I personally love Regirock.
I think it's a good option.
Yeah, if you can take care of water and grass, Regirock is going to be a very, very good pick for him.
Okay, let's do this because they're going to take a little bit more time. So we're going to put this through the team builder for these remaining Pokemon. Okay, let's start off with...
Run them through the gauntlet.
This is actually kind of fun to do in Masters, so it should be fun here. Bastiodon, Toxicroak. This one's gonna say Venusaur. Okay. Reggie.
I can't read that at all.
Oh, okay, okay. So
what that says.
Says its top weaknesses are Wishcash, which we recognized beforehand, because the first 3 Pokemon were weak to Wishcash. But you have Ivysaur check. There's no Pokemon that checks all 4. Bronzong is a weakness.
Oh, yes, absolutely. Bronzong would give this team a nightmare.
Yeah, even has an okay match.
He should Bronzong himself to make sure nobody else gets it.
So some of the top statistic counters are Politoed, if you have the Legacy one. Politoed has a good matchup against Bronzong, has a decent matchup against Wishcash. Jirachi is a problem for this team. Malmetal, except for Toxicroak. Reggie Steele, Frostlass, except for Bastiodon. There's no... It's with that Ivysaur, he shored up a really big weakness, his biggest weakness, but he still has a lot of dependencies on one Pokemon to check it. If he doesn't line it up, then it could give him trouble.
I fully think that he should pick Bronzong, because Bronzong, as well as giving his team a lot of problems, if he takes it himself, he's obviously not going to have to play against it. But Bronzong, with Steel and the Psychic typing, has the double resistance against other Psychic types.
It just leaves you vulnerable against Wishcash, though. Mudboys, mostly Wishcash, which is only a single Mudboy. If we put in Bronzong, let's see here. Obviously, Wishcash is going to be number 1. Bronzong still loses to Reggie Steele. A good IV Frostlass beats Bronzong. Double Shadow Ball because it's able to survive it. Skarmory beat Bronzong. Is that right? I thought it was the other way around.
With good IVs, I think that it can pull through. I know that it's a lot closer than you would think.
Oh, it's a close loss to... I guess if you have a good IV one, which most people will have. Let's see.
Yeah, get it on both of them.
No, it'll survive. The thing is, it faints with a... you might need to have a more attack-weighted one.
Are you running ideal spreads on both of them?
Yeah, I guess it's going to be a little bit... Let's see here. Yeah, I am. So, ideal spread, Bronzong wins. I'm not sure why it comes up like this. It's kind of weird.
I think you need a good IV Bronzong just to shore up that Skarmory matchup.
My
recollection of it.
Yeah, I think Bronzong for the most part beats Skarmory, but I'm just wondering why it's a close win for Skarmory. I think this is slightly wrong, unless I'm reading this wrong.
I believe before you maximize the IVs that Skarmory will beat Bronzong.
Interesting. Gliscor would give that team a problem, except for Altaria. Yeah, could be a pretty decent pick.
Have you played around with Gliscor much?
I play around with Ultra. I don't play around in Great that much. I have one, but it just hasn't been that good in any cups. Have you? I've seen some people run it in some Cliffhanger, and in some draft format. It's hard when it has a 4 times weakness to ice.
Right. Especially the knockoff Landorus.
Yeah, exactly. Let's see here. Okay, let's see here. I think. Let's see what the number one. Blastoise beats all 4 of these Pokemon. Hypno. There's definitely a lot of weaknesses on this team. I think Muck was a weird pick. Muck was a weird pick. But it's close. It's close on all 3. Does Blastoise beat Skarmory? I think these things are like, I guess Blastoise beats in the 0 and the 2, and then loses in the 1, which is he's probably averaging out the score to come up with it. But
is that how it does it?
I'm guessing that's how he does it. It's a close IV. It defaults it to the 1 shield, but like if you look, if you click here, Skarmory wins in the 1 shield, which is what I expected. But it only wins by like 9 points, and then Blastoise wins in the 0 and the 2 by more.
Yeah. Yeah, as I mentioned earlier, that the bulky waters would give this team some problems.
Yeah.
And it looks like in that matchup, the Thunder Punch from Muck is not going to be able to pull it out of that Blastoise matchup.
Yeah. It's just the bulky water is going to be too much with the Hydro Cannon as well. Yeah, Thunder Punch is just not strong enough. And the Hydro Cannon does so much damage. Yoxie, I don't think we'll see too much of that. Jirachi. So let's see what they suggest to shore it up. Ooh, okay. You mostly... Munchlax? What do you think of Munchlax?
On which the team that's drafting right now?
Yeah,
or the
no,
Muck team?
the Muck team.
I mean,
I think it's
something that would offer his team. I mean, I think the Munchlax actually would slot in very nicely. Decent shield pressure.
Yeah, I think that's
good
actually...
generalist.
I like Munchlax on this team.
Oh yeah, especially paired with with Whiscash and Machamp to take care of the steel types. It gives Munchlax a little bit more free reign.
Yeah, well, Munchlax still has Bulldoze. It actually beats Bastiodon, I think. Double Bulldoze.
What?
Let me check that matchup. I'm pretty sure it might have to bait. Is it
really?
Let me see here. It definitely... Let's see here. No, maybe I'm thinking wrong. No, I guess I'm wrong. Oh, yeah, even with the bait. Never mind. Okay. It's close. I guess if you have better ideas...
Look at the Matrix. Scroll down a little bit to the Matrix. It takes the no shield.
Takes the no shield, but loses the... Let me try maximizing the IVs on it.
Get it?
No, it loses. Okay, maybe I'm thinking wrong. It still threatens it. So it's not...
Right, yeah. That's interesting coverage.
Not a terrible matchup. Bronzong?
Every time I think of Munchlax in Great League, I always think of Montreal because it was just everywhere.
Yeah, definitely was one of the meta Pokemon. Bronzong, he's still weak to the Hypno. Yeah. Okay. I like Munchlax. I think that's the appropriate pick for Master. Yeah, let's go to Oisa's team consists of Reggie Steele.
How are you gonna put Mew in here?
I have no idea. This is why it's so terrible to... There's no way. I'll just put whatever the default one is. And then you can adjust it to see if it's gonna fit the coverage. Likely... What do you want? What do you want here? You're worried about Electrics, Grass, maybe Earthquake, I guess.
Yeah.
Let's just throw Earthquake for now. I can play around with the movesets. So your biggest weaknesses are Sableye. Okay, yeah, I can see that. Dugong.
Sableye. Yep.
But there's no Pokemon that covers all 4.
Right.
Which is decent. Umbreon.
Which team has Sableye? Does the Dugong team have Sableye?
Dugong team. No,
it doesn't. It has Violence and Charizard. And...
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like Regirock. Okay, what does this suggest? It suggests Quagsire, which is not available. Fortress, which hasn't been picked up yet.
Fortress has been picked up.
Has it been picked up? Oh yeah, it has. It
Yep.
has. Okay, yeah. Hitmontop, Machamp, Meganium, Venusaur, Hirayama, Clefable.
I don't know that Clefable would slot in too nicely because he wants the shield pressure for Reggie Steele.
Yeah.
It's just still shaping up to be one of my favorite teams in the draft right now.
Yeah. What would you suggest then?
I don't even know that he needs anything. He has a lot of freedom now to pick up Pokemon that might be very, very impressive to other teams. That he might be worried about.
I think you just use Clefable as bench pressure.
Really?
Yeah, to one bench pressure so that you can come in with Mew to put shield pressure on.
Mm-hmm.
Right, because that way you deter Sableye, you deter Umbreon, deter a few others. So that way, like Shadow Claw's at least doing some damage. You feel a little bit more free. I think just bench pressure. You don't necessarily need to run it.
Right. Do you have I know you're a very prominent raider. Is your Mew at Great League level or is it maxed out?
Mine's maxed out.
No.
I wish it was. Well, we'll see if I use it in Masters Go Battle League. Then it'll be worth it.
Masters. What would you even run on it in Masters? Does it offer you anything?
Yeah. No, it's very good in Masters.
I think it's Kiss and Dialga.
Yeah. You can run Focus Blast on it. Right. It's actually very good. It's actually has like a decent amount of. I would say in Open Masters is probably not that great because of Giratinas are going to do a lot of damage to it. But in a draft type format, it's actually very good. If you have TMs. Because it gives you a pretty wide array. You can run... but the thing is, like, are you going to get to the Focus Blast in time for to take out Dialga? I don't even know necessarily what you run to try to take out Giratinas. I don't think you necessarily have any... I guess you could run Dark Pulse. I think it's actually pretty decent. Like, has a good matchup against Mewtwo.
Well, if you run Focus Blast and Dark Pulse, then you're walled by Togekiss.
Yeah, for sure. A lot of times people like running Ancient Power, or there's a number of different movesets. You can design movesets to be effective.
To fit your game.
Yeah.
Right.
Like you can even run Ancient Power Focus Blast, for example. You don't necessarily have strong movesets against Giratina, but you're going to lose that matchup anyways. With Ancient Power and Focus Blast, like, at least you can probably like situationally pull out a win against two of the three. That's probably the strongest core right now. Like, and as well with Focus Blast, you can at least do damage against Snorlax and some of the Reggies and whatnot. So, okay, let's keep going down. Let's see against Grass's team. I prefer Clefable. You might prefer something a little bit more spammy. Let's see here. Tropius. Let's see. Vigoroff. Sableye. Quagsire.
Yeah, I feel like the name of the game for this guy's team at least is shield pressure. And just good, consistent charge moves, flying at. All right, let's see. What did it suggest for him?
Okay. So it's suggesting Jirachi, because you're weak to Altaria, Skarmory, Togekiss. probably not a great situation, right?
Mm-hmm.
But they're close matchups.
Right.
Skarmory obviously farms Tropius, but
I mean, you can beat out a Skarmory with Vigoroth in the two shields, and then Sableye is also pretty good against Skarmory as well, as long as Skarmory doesn't have too much energy on it.
yeah, yeah.
You can even run Power Gem on the Sableye to try and pick up an Altaria win. I mean, it's a narrow win condition, but you can do it.
Yeah. Azumarill. So it's suggesting
someone in the chat asked if Regice was still available, and it is indeed still available.
I don't know if it's necessarily the answer for this particular
Oh
team.
yeah, Frostlass.
Frostlass, or why not Lapras?
Yeah, Frostlass or Lapras. Both very spammy, very consistent.
Yeah, I
feel like Lapras would be a little bit more.
If you add in
Frostlass.
Yeah, if you add in Lapras here, I think the team the threats are going to be at least checks provides harder checks to the top two, and then you have a Hitmontop weakness apparently. No, I think Lapras. Lapras is what I would go with if it's still available at that point in time. Okay, all right. Let's take a look, and then we'll see what picks they've done so far, because they're probably caught up to us after we complete this one. All right, let's see here. Melmetal. Yeah, we can change the moveset on Melmetal too, depending on what we see as the weakness. Alolan Muck. Oh, really?
A third ground weakness. Interesting.
Oh, no. It's potential threats are Alolan Muck, Steelix.
Oh, I understand. Okay, I thought it suggested Alolan Muck. I was like,
no.
What?
It's suggesting Hariyama. Hariyama's not bad. Blaziken.
Yeah.
Ninetales. Heracross. No, I think Blaziken or Hariyama is not bad.
Mm-hmm. I think this might struggle a little bit with shield pressure with both the Razor Leafer and the Charmer. It'd be interesting to see if he brings both in the same line of three. But
yeah, I can't imagine. Depends on the matchups and teams, but okay, all right. Let's see what they have actually drafted at this point in time. Okay, so Blasting Turtle selected Lapras. I think it's a good pick.
Mm-hmm. It's pretty good against the ground types as well. And while it does share that the fighting weakness with Bastiodon, the other three picks on this team are great against the fighting types.
Yeah. Master Tatya selected Munchlax. Is that what we suggested? I think so.
I think so.
Great
idea.
Yeah, we selected Munchlax to somebody, but I'm pretty sure. Do I have much? Okay, all right. Let me just pull that down. Yeah, I think Munchlax fits well with this team.
Mm-hmm. This team has lots of low energy, 35, 40 charge moves.
Yeah, and then Oisa selected Gliscor.
Interesting.
Yeah. What's that? Let's see here. Gliscor kind of shoring up some electric. Especially with that earthquake, gonna have like single resistance to electric. Does have like a little bit of a Lapras problem. No, I guess not because of Sceptile. Like a
Well, Sceptile isn't that great against Lapras either.
yeah.
It certainly doesn't appreciate those ice shards.
Yeah. Let's see. Then Grass selected Bronzong.
Oh man, that team that just picked Lapras, the second team from the top, is gonna have it's gonna have some problems with Bronzong.
Yeah, that's true. They can shore it up. I don't even know what you do to shore it up. Yeah, you have a couple options. Ain't dark type. Okay. Sigley's thinking of their choices. Okay, let's go back to. What do we suggest for? We selected a fighter, right? Or like.
Yeah, it suggested like Hariyama.
Hariyama, Blaziken, I think are both good options. Okay, all right. Let's take a look at these other ones. Okay, Hitmontop, very interesting early pick.
Right.
Swilus, Charizard, Dugong. Okay, let's see what's week 2. Week 2, DD, Azumarill, Hariyama, Machamp.
Oh yeah, Azumarill would give this team lots of problems.
Yeah. And then it's suggesting none of these are available. Vileplume, Gloom,
A Razor Leaf or
Razor Leaf is not bad.
yeah,
I think it's the way to go.
I think it's just suggesting something to handle Azumarill.
Yeah, and then I'm assuming it's selecting the poison grass ones to better shore up against because it's pretty weak to fighting right now.
Mm-hmm.
What so? Vileplume or Gloom? Gloom, probably. Gloom.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, you need a Razor Leaper and a poison
Typing.
Resistance.
Yeah, that's not bad.
So the problem that I have with Dugong at Freestyle is that it just has nothing for Azumarill, whereas Lapras can hit it with the Skull Bash and pretty consistently win against Azumarill.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, Ludicolo. It's I guess it.
I mean, it would help specifically with Lapras, and Azu.
Yeah, it does for sure. Yeah, Ludicolo.
Yeah, actually, now that I think about it, I think that's a fantastic option.
Yeah, Ludicolo. I think it's probably because there's Ice Beam if it does get trapped against like Altaria or something else, able to have some counterplay. Someone's saying Breloom, too squishy. Tangrowth
with Ancient Power, yeah.
Ancient Power, Power Whip.
Vine Whip.
Oh, yeah, and Vine Whip. Someone's saying Magnezone. Is just Magnezone would emphasize your fighting weakness.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think yeah. Ludicolo. Razor Leaf for Iglees.
Right.
Let's see. Simon the Yellow has Umbreon. Deoxys.
DD.
Golbat. Probopass. Let's throw on Thunderbolt for right now, in case there's any moveset considerations here. So, it has weakness to Quagsire.
Oh, right, because Deoxys doesn't have Psycho Boost anymore.
Yeah.
With the Rock Slide and Thunderbolt, you definitely will struggle.
Yeah.
Against Quagsire.
For sure. Struggle against.
I didn't think about that.
Golbat. Reggie Steele. Oh man, those are two pretty different weaknesses. Azumarill. Wishcash. Let's see here. It's suggesting a Razor Leafer. Or Grottle.
Grottle's a decent option. Grottle is one of the better Razor Leapers, I feel like. I mean, the thing that drives me crazy about Razor Leapers when using them is when you're stuck in a bad matchup, that limited energy production, but at least Grottle offers the Body Slam for some damage.
I was thinking like Blastoise. Or has Blastoise already been picked? No.
No, Blastoise has not been picked.
It struggles against Azumarill. But you have Golbat. It's still like an okay. Like in Pro.
Golbat is a lead, and then you have Thunderbolt on defense Deoxys for coverage a little bit.
I think Blastoise. Blastoise probably gives you like. I think does Blastoise beat Reggie Steele? Probably pretty close.
I do not know.
Let's check.
I do not know.
Let's check. I know it beats it in Ultra, but Blastoise does should beat it. Yeah, Blastoise beats it in all shields.
Nice.
So I think Blastoise pretty. Does it beat Quagsire? Let's see here.
Absolutely. And Blastoise would also fit in nicely with the other bulky picks on this team.
Yeah. I think that's a good pick. You'll have to shore up. Like I think you're okay against Azumarill. Like obviously the Hydro Pump's gonna do a lot of damage. You still have DD, Golbat. You have like a lot of neutral checks to it. So
like soft checks, right?
Yeah. Okay, so I think Blastoise makes sense. Let's check out Shadow Brady. I think Shadow Brady has gonna be pretty interesting to see how he's gonna shore up Medicham, Venusaur, Fortress, Lantern.
My prediction's going to suggest Bastiodon. Oh, is that Jirachi?
So the suggested picks are. So its weakness this team has a lot of weaknesses, as we've pointed out before, like Altaria, Tropius, Toxicroak apparently. Toxicroak's more like neutral matchups, except for like maybe like a little bit better matchup against
Lantern.
Yeah, Lantern. AWAC does pretty well against Noctowl, but Lantern's there. Lantern shored up some of these Pokemon, like some of the flyers here, and fire types. It's suggesting Regirock's not available. Has Jirachi been selected?
Jirachi's not been selected.
So Jirachi. Yeah, Jirachi could be decent here. What else would
Reggie Ice.
Reggie Ice, yeah. It would exacerbate your Toxicroak weakness.
That is true.
Which is only one.
But, it would definitely help against Altaria and Tropius.
Yeah, it's only one. That's only one fighter though, right? Like, Medicham usually beats other fighters pretty easily because it resists fighting, and then Venusaur usually does. So you're not overly worried. I think Reggie Ice does exacerbate your Noctowl weakness. No, Noctowl, not Noctowl. A little Marowak. But again, just one Pokemon. Reggie Steele would be a problem. Heracross would be a problem, but yeah,
Steam's got a lot of problems.
It has a lot of problems. Yeah, I don't know if like, way too weak to flyers, which is a problem for sure.
And flyers that take neutral from electric damage.
Yeah. I think Lapras would have been a better pick than Lantern in the 4 slot. Like, not as hard of a check to Skarmory, but you just have like way better coverage against flyers with that like ice water damage and the bulkiness. Like,
you still beat Skarmory, at least from my understanding. I mean, it's certainly not the amazing matchup that Lantern has, but
and just straight surf. So
yeah,
I think so. Reggie Ice and Jirachi, like, let's see what Jirachi would still. Let's see what this team looks like with Jirachi. Like,
yeah, see, Jirachi would handle like both the fighters and the flyers. I mean, at least like a soft check with the steel type to resist the flying damage. I think it would slot in really nice on this team. I mean, for a team that has this many weaknesses and we're trying to like short up all in one Pokemon, I think that Jirachi is a very nice option here.
Jirachi. Yeah, I agree. All right, let's look at Mr. Bliss, and then we can take a look at what the actual picks are. Yeah, it's very I think the Lantern pick was like a reaction pick, saying like, "Oh, I'm weak to flyers," without necessarily thinking.
Absolutely.
Like, I'm gonna go with Confusion. Yeah.
Oh yeah, Frostlass. The chat was suggesting Frostlass for this team. For suggesting Lapras, I think the Frostlass would also slot in very nicely. It would resist the counter damage from Toxicroak and also be able to hit back at the flyers. So
yeah, no, I think it's a good. Okay, so this team is weak to Dugong. Okay, I can see that. Weak to Skarmory.
This team?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I guess Swampert's the only answer for it.
And it's a much closer matchup. So, actually, I think if someone has a high-ranked high-ranked Skarmory, Skarmory actually wins the one shield.
Oh, it's... okay, yeah.
Which is not good for Swampert. That's one of the downfalls of like this slight nerf to Hydro Cannon. Otherwise, this Hydro Cannon would KO here against any Skarmory. But if you have like a high ranked one, you just knock this down. Just these Hydro Cannons from like 46 to 45, and then you're able to survive. You can't do anything afterwards. Like you have switch advantage, but it's a pretty big upgrade. So. Maybe an electric. You're still like you're weak to. You can customize your Cresselia. Like for example, here, if you run instead of Moonblast, you ran Aurora Beam. Then like you're not gonna
at least for neutral on Skarmory.
Yeah, or like as well you're gonna then Altaria comes off this list completely. So use some flexibility because you can TM between. So like okay, this is gonna sound crazy. Raichu.
Yeah, I think it has a lot of play.
Raichu, Thundershock, Break, Wild Charge.
I feel like Raichu is always like one of those like borderline picks. It's like I can't ever get myself to bring it just because it's so glassy.
Extremely glassy. Let's see what it suggests. Yeah. Down here.
I think, but you're right. I think that it would absolutely slot well onto this team. Covering both Dugong and Skarmory.
Rainy Cast Form.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I can see Rainy Cast Form.
He does have the grass types like sufficiently covered, especially the poison grasses. So he could afford to bring another water type here.
Yeah.
And I always forget that Sunny Cast Form has Thunder. Well, I mean, you only forget the first time. As soon as you get your Lapras gets hit with Thunder from Sunny Castform or Skarmory, you're like, oh man, what?
Yeah. For sure. Okay, let's see what they've picked. Hopefully they are. Okay, we're at Sleekloo. Okay, gonna select Blastoise.
There you go. My man's listening.
Yeah. Blastoise, I think good pick here. Okay, all right. VYZX likes Wormadam Trash. Okay.
Confusion user.
Yeah.
Take care of the fighters. There we go.
Yeah. That's a good pick. Simon the Yellow selects Ludicolo.
There we go.
Yeah, I think makes sense. And then Shadow Brady selects
This is the one that I'm most curious to hear.
They're saying the stream is definitely influencing the picks. They're quoting, "This team has a lot of problems."
That's right, too.
Okay, they're saying Frostlass because Jirachi, his Jirachi's trash.
What? I mean, it's certainly not the best compared to like the. I don't know.
I think Frostlass
format. I feel like it has a little bit of play at least.
Yeah. No, for sure. I think even no one has a good IV. Jirachi, right? Like you had to get it from
right.
Research. Okay.
I think Frostlass is the right pick here.
Okay, so Mr. Bliss is going Relicanth, Jirachi.
Relicanth.
I didn't think about Relicanth. I'd like the Jirachi pick here.
Yeah. Because the Jirachi will definitely shore up that grass weakness. Because picking another type that's double weak to grass is going to be a little bit rough.
Relicanth? Oh, man, I'm not sure about Relicanth, though. Kind of like creates this triple ground weakness with no Razor Leafers to deter.
Right.
And like, yeah, I'm not sure if I love that. So like, yeah, like someone could run. It hasn't been selected yet, but someone could run like Marsh Stomp, right, with Mud Bomb Sludge.
Oh, Marsh Stomp is fantastic.
Very
spammy.
Here, like Mud Bomb Sludge would give you Togekiss and the 3
Sludge.
Pokemon, and just for you can also run Surf. Sludge kind of sucks.
Right. No, it's nice for the fairy type coverage.
Surf gives you like at least a little bit better matchup against Cresselia and Swampert.
Mm-hmm.
Right, like
great neutral damage.
Oh man, so much ground weakness there though.
I know.
Yeah. Oh man, that's a lot. Okay. All right. Let's see here.
I will be right back. Actually, give me like
no problem.
A minute and a half. I'll be right.
Yeah, no problem. Oh man. Okay. What do we feel in chat for this one? Heracross, Hitmonchan. Can deal with Skarmory and tanks. I'm not sure if Hitmonchan can deal with Skarmory after the Power Up Punch nerf. Shadow Brady. Yeah, let's see here. If he adds in Frostlass. Let's see. No, that's Mr. Bliss's. Curious. Still has a lot of AWAC weaknesses, but just one Pokemon. Like in draft, it's not that big a deal. Okay, I'm just punching in a lot of AWAC, but even AWAC is fine because like you have some recourse with Shadow Ball. Trying to think. Man, this team has like a lot of like single point of failures, right? Like,
right.
A lot of like if you can't line up Altaria to Frostlass, then
Frostlass, done.
Same thing with Tropius, right? Like.
Mm-hmm. At least Venusaur and Fortress can hit back at Tropius.
Yeah, for sure.
You might even run like a Power Up Punch, Ice Punch set on Metacham for Tropius.
Yeah.
So you can actually, I mean, now that I look at it, it would appear that those picks do very, very well against this team. But it's not like all is lost. Like this, it's not a lost cause because you can still adapt your team to cover the Altaria and Tropius.
For sure.
But it's certainly going to struggle with them, and without a lot of like, it has to be like almost perfectly executed as well.
I just can't imagine if you're going against a Medicham though, you like almost never shield the first charge move, right? Because like if you shield the Power Punch, that's the lose condition,
right?
Let's see here. Let's see how this. So let's see the Altaria team, and see how they line up. So, let me just get rid of this. Okay, Altaria team here, right?
Mm-hmm.
How do they line up?
I think Altaria plus Toxicroak is just about it.
Yeah. Well, you still have to deal with Frostlass.
And then you need to catch the Frostlass. That's true.
Maybe like the Altaria in
Bastiodon.
Bastiodon, yeah. Looks pretty good. Or even if you want to play a little bit safer, you could go a little bit safer. You could go Lapras, for example. Like if you don't want as many hard counters, you have a couple options.
Right. I feel like he's tempted. I feel like the lower team is tempted to bring Lantern just with a better matchup against Lapras and Bastiodon right now.
Yeah,
and Charge Beam would at least give you some play against Altaria. I mean, it's still a losing matchup, but from my understanding, it's a little bit better.
Yeah, for sure. A little bit more pressure, but then once you go Charge Beam, then your
Bastiodon, yeah.
Then you're putting a lot of pressure on Medicham. Not that you can... there's like not even necessarily... well, unless they're running Power Up Punch, you could even run Double Tanks Altaria.
Mm-hmm. Oh, someone in the chat suggested Steelix.
Yeah, Steelix... Steelix looks good, yeah. Blasting Turtle. And then let's see against the Tropius team.
Mm-hmm.
See, like, Frostlass is so spammy. There's nothing that immediately deletes it there. Like, obviously, like, Sableye is going to do a lot of damage.
Right.
But Sableye still has to worry.
What's the Quagsire matchup with Frostlass? I'm not familiar with that one off the top of my head.
I think Quagsire wins. Let me just double check this.
Can Quagsire tank an Avalanche?
Yeah, almost.
Like off the top of my head, I believe that it would be able to.
Quagsire wins, yeah. Quagsire. It does 83 of 100. It does half.
Okay. It does half? An avalanche does half?
Yeah.
Wow.
It's decent bulk, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's not glassy, but Frostlass is like it's attack weighted for sure, but we're not talking about like Primate or you know what I mean. We're talking about we're not talking about Gallade right. So it's high, and it's neutral, right? So it's able to survive, and these Powder Snows are not doing any damage, like very much damage as well. So
Frostlass would be very good against that team if you can take care of Sableye.
Yeah. Yeah, you definitely have some play here. Quake Fortress. It's not bad. Like Shadow Brady and Grass's team. I don't see any distinct advantages. Like, what's the? Even like a Tropius Fortress, like a.
It's still fairly close.
Yeah, it's fairly close for sure. Oh, actually, Fortress wins. Oh, Fortress wins all shield. Oh, this is must. No, wow, really?
Is that Razor Leaf or Air Slash?
Air Slash.
Fortress wins.
Oh, it gets the debuff.
Is it getting the debuff?
It gets the debuff on the last one. So, which like to be honest, you hit 3 mirror shots, and it's a 1 in 3 chance. Right, so that's not that outrageous to get it. And then this puts it at the last one. If it doesn't get this debuff, it loses. But I think like not apply the debuff. Or does it lose? No, actually.
Does it matter which? Do you have so? Like, if you don't get the debuff soon enough, do you still lose? Like, do you have to get the debuff on like your first or second one? Like, by the third one, is it just too late?
I'm just trying to see here. Yeah, no, by the third one, if you got it on any of them, you win.
Oh, even the third one.
Even the third one.
It's just by a lesser.
Yeah.
Margin of victory.
So, like, the thing is, like, Fortress here kind of looks like a safe switch against this team. So you're not necessarily.
This is a pretty good safe switch in general.
Yeah,
against most teams.
Only fire weakness, but against this team because like it's gonna lose to Vigoroff. It's probably gonna beat Sableye. Wait, does it beat Vigoroff now with the new moves? Let's see here. Yeah, it does.
If it gets the debuff, it's gonna be really close. I mean, if it gets the debuff, it'll actually probably win.
Yeah, let's see here. Okay, it applies it to both. I don't know why it's doing this. Okay, but yeah, if it gets the debuff, it wins. So pretty safe switch on this team. I wouldn't worry too much about the Tropius weakness. The Altaria weakness is just a lot of pressure onto Frostlass, and then Bastion can farm up afterwards, but it still have Medicham, so it's okay. Like, maybe it's not as big a deal based off how these things are playing out. Like, Frostlass Medicham. It's not like you necessarily can farm up. Okay, one second. I want to check something. Okay.
Okay. What are you checking?
Medicham versus Altaria, but instead of counter, Psycho Cut.
Psycho Cut.
It wins.
The old school anti.
It wins. It wins. Yeah. It wins.
With the ice punch, yeah.
With the ice punch. So like, it's actually not that bad. So you run. I think you run if you run against if you're Shadow Brady, you run against Blasting Turtle. You run Psycho Cut, Dynamic Punch, Ice Punch. It still actually probably provides you a better matchup against Toxicrow. You still win against Bastion. You just can't farm it down. And then you probably still beat Lapras and Ivysaur.
Yeah,
that's pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Yeah. Now I think you're as a Blasting Turtle. That's like a potential something to think about. I'm not even sure what you can necessarily do to counter that. I think it actually beats all 5 of these Pokemon.
For as much as we were ripping this guy's team apart earlier, the flexibility of those Pokemon, and especially just on Metachamp, it might be enough to save him from these matchups.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Jesus. Okay. All right.
It's going to be a lot on the Metachamp moveset and then getting the debuff on on Fortress.
Yeah. Thanks, PokeAK, for the super chat. He said, "Don't sleep on Drapion."
Oh yeah.
With the Fell Stinger, definitely a big improvement. Okay, let's see how they're gonna let's see how they shore up this. Man, Medicham though, that's so dangerous to Blasting Turtles team. Man, does it beat? Man, does it beat Tropius too then? No, it doesn't.
Certainly doesn't appreciate those air slashes.
Yeah, that's the thing.
With the Psycho Cut variant still doesn't cut it against Tropius.
It doesn't. But if they're running Razor Leaf, which
if they're on Razor Leaf, it's a
there's no reason why you would run Razor Leaf here against this team, so it's going to lose against the Air Slash one. So
yeah, Razor Leaf would just condemn you against Venusaur and Fortress.
Yeah, that wouldn't make any sense. Okay, Shadow Brady says. Selects Marsh Stomp. Oh man!
I mean, if you're gonna be weak to Tropius in Ontario, why not just go all in?
Just go all in, right? You have where's Marsh Stomp? Oh man, that's why not? Why not? What the hell's this? Yeah. That's pretty interesting. Let's see here. Okay, all right. Simon the Yellow selects Flygon.
Ooh.
What is that?
Spicy.
Where's Flygon?
He has Umbreon and DD. You can pick whatever he wants for his 6th pick.
Yeah, exactly. What does Flygon give him though?
I guess a better tank matchup, just because the counters from Defense Deoxys usually aren't enough to bring down the. They usually are enough, but it's still a little bit closer than maybe he would like for it to be.
Yeah. Okay. VYZX selects Haunter.
My man.
I knew you'd like that pick. Does it? Haunter, I guess, shores up the fighting weakness. A little bit, right? And,
very well.
Yeah. That's actually a good pick. I like that.
Do you know if they're allowed to switch between a Shadow Ball Haunter and a Sludge Bomb Haunter?
Yeah.
They're allowed to do that?
Not in the same best of 3.
Right, but in between.
Yeah. What do you think of Sigley's team? They're saying in the chat, they're saying in their own private Discord, they hope that Shadow Brady gets the last laugh because we've been trashing his team. Still has some weaknesses, but against Blasting Turtle,
he has his weaknesses cut out for him, but he also has he can definitely play out of them.
Yeah, especially because you can TM between
right?
Because there's no way you would want Medicham to be locked into Psycho Kai this entire tournament.
Right.
Then you probably lose the wireless matchup, right? And what do you think? What's
this team? I just do not know. I'm trying to think.
So it's saying Magneton or Magnezone. What do you think of that? Man, you're just inviting.
He already has Melmetal.
And yeah.
I would like to see at least one of them get picked before the draft is over.
Sorry, what?
I would like to see one of them get picked before this draft is over.
Yeah, I just don't think on this team is the right answer.
Right. Right.
It's like there's not any major.
It looks like he likes the fast move damage with the Razor Leaf and Charm. I'm thinking maybe a Confusion user, Dragon Breath user,
Like Dragonair or
or Kingdra.
Kingdra, yeah, Kingdra. The only thing, if you Kingdra, then you're still okay, but you're kind of weak to Venusaur.
Oh,
but really
true.
only Venusaur. I guess Ivysaur, conversely, as well. But you have coverage in Alolan Marowak and in Melmetal, and like thing is like unless I guess if you lock in Someone's saying Garchomp. Garchomp's so glassy. And it's maybe we'll take Hitmonchan.
Yeah, I think that would fit in nicely with the other fast move damage he has on his team.
Yeah.
Because Hitmonchan already has so much attack on it that after the first power punch, those counters are already doing a lot.
Yeah. You can carry Ice Punch. You can customize the punches to... someone's saying Ominate. Yeah, again, that Venusaur weakness is a little too much. It's only Venusaur, though. Like, how does this team pair up? Or how do you feel about this team right now against Mr. Bliss's team? Like, how would you pair these things up?
Which team is Mr. Bliss's?
The last one. Swampert, Cresselia, Togekiss, Skuntank, Jirachi, and Relicanth. So no. I feel like I think like Blastoise, for example, is like a pretty safe switch against this entire team. And then
Tropius as well. Does fairly well.
Oh, I'm talking about the team below. The
my apologies. My apologies.
Marowak. So it's difficult to...
Alolan Marowak would do very well against this team.
Yeah, just has to worry
especially if you could handle the water types.
Yeah, for sure.
It's like AWAC plus Blastoise, and then maybe a Razor Leaf would do really well. Or Melmetal.
Yeah, you have to be careful of both waters. I think if you bring a Alolan Marowak, either you bench pressure the Relicanth and Swampert, which are both double weak to grass, right? It's kind of difficult to bring in, to be honest. Like, I'd feel pretty comfortable if I was Mr. Bliss bringing either Swampert or Relicanth, because it's pretty difficult to bring Victreebel against this team.
Victreebel.
Like,
right.
Cresselia, Confusion, Skuntank, and Jirachi.
He did a very good job of covering the grass weakness with the other 4 picks.
Yeah. So man, like, are there other ways to check Swampert? Like, I think like it's a pretty interesting matchup. I don't necessarily see any definitive, like, Alolan Marowak still has to worry about 2, but has 4 positive matchups. The Skuntank matchup is probably pretty close.
How does Melmetal with superpower compare to or matchup against Swampert now?
Oh, it probably still gets
It
destroyed.
has at least. I mean, I know that probably
Yeah.
still gets destroyed, but does it have any play
Yeah, let's check.
whatsoever?
Let's check.
That's a new matchup I haven't done yet.
It's going to be CMP to the first superpower. And it probably doesn't KO. Let's see here. So, in the Zero Shield.
Oh, wow. That is a dominant.
It's pretty bad.
I was just looking at the Matrix.
Yeah, it's not good.
Oh, my gosh. Okay, never mind. Forget that I even...
Swampert looks...
That's bad.
But I think you bring Swampert instead of Relicanth on this team, but because I think it gives you a better Blastoise matchup. You know, Blastoise is super safe here. Like in, someone's saying, what about Gallade?
Gallade has still not been picked yet.
Gallade.
Wow.
The thing is, Gallade still loses to. It has like the same issue with Victreebel in the sense that it loses to Jirachi, loses to Togekiss, it loses to Skuntank, it loses Cresselia. It kind of has the same. Oh, how about Shiftry?
Shiftry do.
At least like then you're
Shiftry would dominate this team.
Yeah,
aside from
the two in the middle,
Togekiss and
Skuntank. That's actually,
if you could find a way to take care of Togekiss and Skuntank, Shiftry would look very well against this team.
I think that looks better. I think like something like Shiftry, Blastoise, Melmetal.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think puts a lot of pressure on. I think Shiftry would be what I would go with here. Yeah, I don't see like much counterplay besides like the Togekiss and Skuntank.
Mm-hmm.
But you just show Melmetal, and Melmetal will beat both. Okay, yeah, I think that's the pick that I would go with. Okay, he went with Primate.
Wow.
Okay, yeah, I don't know if I would have went Primate. It just makes it more difficult to bring. This is just against one particular matchup, right? He's probably showing up some other weaknesses, but okay. Grass brings Alolan Raichu. What do you think of that pick?
This guy has a very, very consistent charge move. Like all the charge moves coming out from this team are going to do pretty consistent amounts of damage. I love Alolan Raichu. Alolan Raichu, I feel like I could stick on any freestyle team of 6 just because of its incredible coverage between like Wild Charge, Psychic, Grass Knot. I mean, Thunder Punch for the bait, or just to plow straight through water types if you'd like.
Okay, so what do you think of Elsa's team? What's missing?
I don't think he's missing anything. I think that. Well, let's see. The bulky ices, like Lapras, would certainly give this team some problems.
Yeah. Someone's saying Sudowoodo. Kind of a shared weakness. Shared.
Yeah, I don't know that you want to exacerbate that fighting weakness.
Hitmonchan?
Let's see.
Struggles against Skarmory. Except for Reggie Steele.
And then Mew, depending on moveset, but that is a good point.
Heracross. I don't think I would bring Heracross. Heracross like gives you another deterrent to a Mudboy, right? Because that bug typing.
Yeah, the resistance to ground.
Yeah, so I'm saying Alolan Muck. I think you just want to make it as least advantageous towards countering Reggie Steele as possible, but Alolan Muck is would still lose the Lapras, would not?
Alolan Monk. I mean, I'm fairly just off the top of my head. I think that it would.
And
Lapras has
then lose to
a
Fighters.
lot of bulk.
And then lose to Fighter still, right? Like, and lose to Skarmory. How about Ninetales? You kind of like putting a lot of pressure on.
I don't know that you need the fire though.
Yeah.
Like I'm trying to think about what fire would offer this team, essentially.
So I'm saying Kanto Raichu. Yeah, I don't think fire because like the thing is like then you're very weak to Lantern. You would have to like put pressure.
Which players said that they like Zapdos?
I don't think any of them did. Anyone say? Let's see here.
At the beginning, I thought that somebody had in their bio that they like Zapdos.
Let's see. Oh yeah, grass. But he selected.
Oh, and he's already gone.
Yeah.
He selected Alolan Raichu. Okay.
Lucario. Yeah. Again, like. Hitmontop. Gallade. Seems Zapdos would work here.
Yeah, I think that Zapdos would offer some coverage against the other grass types.
Yeah.
Because, Mantine being the water flying, it really doesn't love the grass matchups.
Yeah. You can customize
your Mantine, right? Like Wing Attack, Ice Beam.
Yeah. Drifblim. Ooh, that Icy Wind.
Yeah, that would be very spicy. And you go for like the double debuff because he already has the Bubble Beam option there.
Yeah.
I think that would be very cool to see as an Icy Wind Drifblim. Have you simmed around or have any experience with the Drifblim after the Icy Wind?
So when I was doing some Fusion Cup practice, someone didn't realize that Drifblim was banned because it's 75,000.
Yeah.
So I did like 12 matches in a row. I'm like, how the heck do I beat this thing, right? It's like,
really, was it that good?
Yeah, because Icy Wind spam like could hurt Shiftry, right? Like obviously Icy Wind against Noctowl and Icy Wind against a lot of things, right? Like was pretty and if you it was not great, but yeah, it was not a great matchup. Don't say Blaziken here. Yeah. Don't love
Ice could certainly be slightly problematic for the team.
Yeah, for sure. Strong ice type.
I feel like he's going to take a lot of time picking the sticks pick, but he might never even use it. He's already pretty set up.
Yeah, yeah. Bench pressure, right? Like, what do you want to scare away?
Right.
Someone's saying Hariyama. It's just like it's a lot of weakness to strong flying. Really, just Skarmory.
I hope that Niantic, while they're in the spirit of adding legacy moves back up, that they re-add Thunder Shock for Zapdos.
Oh yeah, you mean like make it like because it's like an event move.
Mm-hmm.
Like yeah,
Oh, it was.
Yeah, it was during the whatever 3-hour raid window, and
Okay.
then and as well in raids afterwards. Doesn't necessarily mean they can add it. Then like they can't add it in afterwards. Try to think of
Or research boxes.
or research box. Yeah. It's probably a pretty good request. Yeah, it had to be a research box, or like be able to add it to the pool. I don't see why not. It's a pretty easy request. Like make the birds like more relevant in Great League. They're so yeah. It would have more relevance.
Right. I feel like Articuno would be pretty decent too with Ice Shard, Icy Wind, and Ancient Power.
Someone's saying Sand Slash. I wouldn't necessarily go Sand Slash, but maybe.
Yeah, that wouldn't help out with that ice weakness.
Someone's saying Tentacruel.
Actually, that wouldn't be a very bad idea at all. That would help him against the Azu team.
Yeah. For sure. Yeah. You have to worry about
Hypno. And Meganium.
Yeah. Someone's saying Ferrothorn.
That's some spice.
Okay, they went Alolan Muck.
It's fairly consistent. And at least if Alolan Muck gets matched up against a ground type, it can hit it with the Dark Pulse.
It's a
Whereas
good
with Registeel, you'd have to wait all the way until you get the fighting move.
Yeah.
I feel like you're so strong against ground types already. I feel that you can definitely afford at least another ground weakness. And potentially, if you bring like both Registeel and Alolan Muck in the back, and you like sacrificially swap Alolan Muck, like throw it out there to draw out their ground type, leaving Registeel safely in the back for a closer with no ground types to deal with. I think that'd be an interesting strategy potentially.
So Master Tatya selected Dragonite.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I didn't know. He completely slipped my mind.
How does it work with this team?
With what? What's recommended? Mono Dragon, I assume? Draco Meteor, Dragon Claw?
Yeah. You can probably customize it if you want. Like Hurricane if you want, but... what do I think of... Double Flyer? Different flyers, though, right?
Dragonite also probably help out against the bulky waters that don't carry an ice move as well.
Yeah, for sure. We definitely saw that in Montreal, like when Holden McGroin was switched in a Dragonite onto a Lapras, not a Lapras, a Lantern.
Yeah,
and it was not great.
It also helped with that Blastoise matchup as well.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, which I think is that's actually a good point. Does have to be
I mean, you
careful.
gotta show the Ice Beam, but still.
Yeah. But you can farm down, has like a decent amount of energy for whatever's next.
Mm-hmm.
And like nothing on that team. Well, I guess Togekiss, but if you carry Hurricane, you just Hurricane a Togekiss. Not Togekiss, a Wigglytuff. Probably do some damage. Or,
would certainly hurt more than its other moves.
Yeah. So what do you think for...
How much energy is Draco Meteor now? I forget.
I think it's 65.
It's like 65, so it's basically Outrage, but a lot better for just 5 more energy.
Let's see. 65.
What were you saying for this team? This guy's last pick?
So what do you think of Blasting Turtle? What do you think he's gonna end up selecting? What do you like on this team? Okay, what's
potentially a Dark type?
Yeah.
To help out with resist confusion here.
Okay, how about going out on a... Okay, this Pokemon's usually pretty bad, but it might deter... This is just for one matchup, just because we saw Medicham was running through everything. How about Spiritomb?
Spiritomb? Okay. You say that, I was actually thinking Sableye would fit in really, really nicely with this team. I was trying to think of another Pokemon.
I was 100% thinking
Spiritomb, like, potentially.
I was 100% thinking Sableye. Like, Sableye would be great on this team, but I think
right.
It's obviously not available. And I don't think you want another Pokemon weak to fighting. Like, kind of gives you, like, that in between, right? So...
Right.
Someone's saying Typhlosion. Gardevoir. Clefable.
I don't know that I like Typhlosion because I would just exacerbate that Whiscash weakness, or the Mudboy weakness.
Yeah.
Well, I guess just Whiscash, because the other Mudboys can't really hit at Altaria. I mean, Quagsire has the Stone Edge, but it's still generally losing matchup. Let's see.
Drapion. Yeah, the Mudboy weakness would be bad. Like, Wishcash is already, would be, How about Claydol?
Yeah. Would offer a nice psychic resistance as well.
Yeah.
Good protection against fighters.
Yeah, just weak to... I guess you're not that worried about Swampert because you have Altaria.
You know what I'm kind of surprised didn't get picked out the whole draft is Poliwrath.
Yeah. Oh, someone's saying, how about Drifblim? Does Drifblim bleed?
I don't care if Drifblim synergizes with the team. I just want to see it play with Icy.
I think Drifblim, let's see, does Drifblim beat, let's see here. Let's see, it beats Wishcash. Does not. One's in the 2 shield. But you have to, you probably can't double, actually probably can.
Can it, is that it with Whiscash Double Blizzard?
Let's see here. No, if Wishcash double blizzards, that's actually hilarious. Let me show this. So Wishcash double blizzards, it survives.
Oh, wow.
It's actually probably, but that's them shielding the first charge move. Like if they don't.
Wait, it tanks Is that it tanking the second Blizzard?
No, after shielded. And that's after a debuff, right? So, like, if they don't... The thing is, like, if they don't shield... Like, I can't imagine you would shield the... if you don't... Because the Shadow Ball does only half. And then if you end up shielding and icing when later... I guess you still... okay. Interesting. Yeah, you can't double... there's a lot of mind games here.
Yeah.
I wouldn't necessarily shield the first one.
Is Drifblim's play, I feel like, to go for the double Shadow Ball and block the Blizzard?
Okay, let me try this. No, it has to land an Icy Wind to reduce this Blizzard from KOing.
Gotcha. God, Drifblim is so bulky.
Has a lot of HP.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Ooh, Blasting Turtle selects Gastrodon.
Oh, there we go. Mud Slap, Body Slam. It actually does pretty decent against the other Mud Boys.
Oh, does it?
I don't know. Yeah, I know it'll take out Whiscash. Just playing around with a little bit in Fusion. Yeah, with the Mud Slap buff, it does a little bit better than you would think, especially paired with Body Slam.
Okay, all right. Okay, I don't know which one this person has, so I'm gonna include them both.
He gets both.
Yeah. Double pick there.
7 Pokemon.
Double pick there. Okay, what do you think for okay then?
A lot of flexibility in this team. A lot of play.
Okay, what's the bulkiest Pokemon still left?
I feel like usually, just sorting by TDO.
Yeah.
What's left.
Okay, let's see. Let's see here. What's left? That's bulky.
Hariyama's left. He doesn't have a fighter.
Hariyama. Yeah, he doesn't have a fighter. He could like Sunny Castform.
Or Torkoal. Torkoal's beefy.
Torkoal,
If you want to set like Azu up for success, what would you pair it with?
So Azu right now, you're worried about. You're kind of decent for.
I guess the Dark Poisons look.
Yeah, because you're thinking Dark Poison for like a. But the thing is, like.
I mean, the Dark Poisons look decent against like the Meganium and the Azu.
Yeah.
Or you just double Reggie and pick up Reg Ice.
Yeah. That would be then like Vigoroth is kind of a safe switch on this team.
Oh well, I was thinking Lugia, but he already has a psychic type.
Yeah. Yeah, technically these are two different Pokemon. Gastrodon West or Gastrodon East. Something to cover Dark Poison would be good. Dark Poison.
Potentially a grass resistance, because Azu. I mean, he already has knocked out, but Azu and Meganium and Reggie Steele aren't going to appreciate the grass matchups.
Yeah, for sure.
I think that knocked out looks really, really good on this team.
Yeah, definitely needed the knockdown to cover against, like, well, I guess we gotta look at what grasses have been selected.
I think we gotta look at what grasses haven't been selected. But
maybe like a second, because like I'm thinking like Ludicolo looks okay against this team, except for Noctowl, but he has Probopass, right? And then he doesn't necessarily have anything that can farm Probopass afterwards. You know, after Probopass gets so much energy, it's going to do a lot of damage to his team. So like a second coverage to grass types.
I think he is right now. I'm trying to look through the last two teams. He's the only team without a steel type.
Yeah. They're saying Steelix. For sure.
I mean, potentially. I mean, if you wanted to opt for a more defensive pick, Steelix will be rough to slot in there because of Regirock, I feel. A lot of shared weaknesses there.
Yeah. Torkoal, Lucario. Okay, he's going Blaziken.
Blaziken?
I think that's covers like
the grasses.
Kind of weak to
a little bit.
Lantern. Just one Pokemon though. He said he chose it because the division name is Counter Division, so he had to make sure he get a counter user.
Oh, okay, he had to get a counter user. Yep.
Okay, so.
And also the only team without a steel type. Interesting.
Yeah. Was it literally the only team without a steel?
Yeah, it's literally the only team without a steel.
Oh, wow. Really? Okay, wow, that's crazy. Yeah, wow. That's interesting. It shows you how good steel types are, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Just defensive typing. Okay, which team are you favoring? Which team would you want to run?
Which team would I want to run? Oh, man. The DD Umbreon team looks very, very good, but I don't know that I would want to run it. There's not a lot of like play in those picks. I like picks a little bit more play. I definitely like the first team, the Azu team. Let's see.
Yeah, lots of play there. Yeah.
I think that my favorite teams are the Azu team and then the Reggie Steele Mantine team.
Yeah, that's solid.
What about yourself?
I kind of like Blasting Turtles team. Um, though obviously the ones you mentioned.
You know, the more I look at it, this Tropius.
I was 100%.
Sableye.
I was 100% gonna say that one. Like those Pokemon have like a lot of play, a lot of
Super
flexibility,
spammy.
a lot of flexibility, right? Even with Quagsire, Alolan, Raichu, like there's a ton of play there. They're gonna be able to do a lot of damage. Like not necessarily very many traps if you set up these teams correctly. Yeah, I think that's pretty solid. It does have like a difficult pair up with the Umbreon Defense Deoxys core, right? Because Umbreon gonna have like hard check 3, right? And then probably have like 2 neutral matchups and 1 losing matchup, but that 1 losing matchup is shored up by DD. So that's but it has Sableye as well, right? So, but yeah. I guess Tropius is safe against both, but then I think Grass's team, Simon the Yellow, has a very interesting team against Grass's.
Which team? I can't.
Oh, sorry, the Umbreon Defense Deoxys.
The Umbreon DD team? Okay. Yeah, I'd be very curious to see that.
Yeah, these should be some good matches. I think they're gonna schedule some time so we can live stream some battles next week. But they do like to spend some time to analyze and dissect and run a bunch of sims in between to try to. But we're gonna see some like pretty really interesting play. So I think we're done for the evening. But I think you're hopping on J Farm stream later, right?
Yeah, I can hop on J Farm stream.
Yeah. So for some fundraising, so definitely check that out. Thanks for joining, Mason, and thanks PogoRaids for letting us host this. And we're looking forward to casting the battles probably sometime next week.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
All right, thanks everyone.